Buy some Skittles.
You're listening to the Draft in Hand podcast with your hosts, Greg, Ian, and Mark.
Guys, how was trick-or-treating last weekend?
What day was that?
I was at Copacabana, so I was eating like Brazilian steak.
Sunday. Oh, and then where did you, Pioneer Village or something?
Yeah, we went to Pioneer Village. It was me, Amy, and a couple of like Amy's friends and stuff. My friends too. Like we're all friends, but it was like a ghost story walk through Black Creek Pioneer Village here in Toronto.
Up near York University.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty cool. And they kind of
old houses. Like, how old are these houses? How old is this village in quotation marks?
1800s.
So it's old. For those people who aren't familiar.
Well, we always used to go to like Pioneer Village for like a, what do you call it, field trip.
Yeah, one of the first questions the host or the tour guide
who's
or
been
whatever
here on a field trip
was asking. It was like, when the last time you were here? Probably elementary school. And everybody's like, yeah, probably.
15, 20 years ago.
But it was cool. Like, it was all factual to what happened there and all that stuff, and they tried to make it spooky. So, I don't know. It was fun. It was different.
Spooky, but kind of for like the reasons of, it's not like a haunted. I remember talking to you about this last week, and it wasn't like a haunted prison where it's like psychotic and it's.
Yeah, we're the same company that does
demonic.
this. They do a thing through Kingston Penitentiary, downtown Toronto. I think they do one through Fort York.
Distillery, you said?
Yeah, distillery.
That's
as well.
old. Those are old buildings.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. So that's how you spent Halloween. Unlike myself, I spent Halloween trick or treating because I'm a child.
You're
that doesn't sound like a bad thing.
No. Yes.
I feel like we used to have like 100 more kids on the street than we do nowadays.
We did. Well, I didn't know how many people. I don't know how many kids came
like
around.
My parents did it like Italian. I think they had like 45 or something.
It might have been a little bit more.
Maybe 50.
Yeah.
I remember, Ian, your parents always gave out the best candy when your dad was working full-time at Wrigley's, though.
Yeah.
All the gum.
Oh, no, it wasn't that. It was gum. It was
a pack of gum.
Ian was the family with the full-size shit. It wasn't like the 2-piece Starburst. It was like the full-length Starburst. It wasn't like 2 pieces of like juicy fruit gum. It was the full pack
they
of
probably
gum.
they just probably give you guys good stuff too because they know you guys.
Ian's house was the house on Halloween.
There's a couple in the neighborhood, and on our street, I think Ian's was like
Ian's house was the
and we
house.
never decorated.
You had a couple pumpkins, but that was it. Halloween.
Never judge a book by its cover.
I don't feel like you need to decorate much for Halloween.
I feel like almost now, the less shit you have out for Halloween, the more spooky you are.
Kinda. It's all about lighting and sound. Our house, I think, did I tell this story on the podcast? Like, I'll tell it just really quick. Our house was the spookiest for 5 years in a row. All we did was put up some danger tape with some broken hockey sticks. Just hammered some hockey sticks into the front lawn.
What?
Put some
kids
danger
think
tape.
they're like zombies are going to come out of like your gardens or something?
Well,
No, but here the
obviously.
two things that made it. We just changed the color of one of our lights to green. It was like a Halloween light, but we just changed it to green, and we had like a track from the dollar store playing on a ghetto blaster, and it just had spooky noises. It was a Halloween track, so it was lighting and sound, and we
ambiance.
And it took maybe 30 minutes to set up, including putting the danger tape, caution tape on the front lawn, just so the kids don't run.
The thing
through the
that
garden.
takes you the
Danger tape's
longest is
red.
normally the pumpkins.
What's that?
How many pumpkins you carved this
Oh,
year?
only 2 this year.
Oh.
But sometimes we would do like 6.
Sometimes you do like 10.
Yeah, that would take the most time. I don't count the pumpkins as decorating because it's almost a different thing. Have a beer.
Do you eat
Carve some
pumpkin
pumpkins.
seeds?
Roasted.
No, I don't. I had someone, didn't Mark? You guys used to do them. I remember giving some to you guys and having some that your mom made.
Roasted seeds are
Yeah.
nice.
That's the only time. We've never made them ourselves.
Yeah,
just when
my
you
mom
guys-
does them all the time. But she won't do them all. She's like, no one's going to eat them. I'm like,
Roasted
just give them
seeds,
to me.
you put
I'll eat them.
salt on top.
Yeah. I've only had them when you two guys have made them.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know the ingredients.
Yeah.
Salt and oven.
And that's it. You
Lost me.
My mom puts olive oil on it, but that
Oh, maybe maybe a pinch, just to say that you did. So just splash.
I don't
on
know.
it. Splashy splash.
Anyways,
All right, guys. This is the Draft in Hand podcast. This is November. It's the weekend after Halloween, November 6th. We're doing it on a Saturday just for fun today. I'm Greg. Over there is Ian.
yo,
And there's Mark.
Yo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're
Shout out to the Atlanta
entertained.
Braves.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. We'll talk about the
Okay.
Braves. We'll talk about the Braves in a bit.
I'm just doing that.
Alex
they want me a
Anthopoulos.
bit of money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
a lot of money.
Yeah, that's
what are you gonna do with your money?
Bills.
Invest it.
Bit what?
Trailer fees.
Oh, trailer. Okay.
I got a big 407 bill that I just put off for all year.
Yo, you know, Mark's an adult. So what you gonna do with all the money you won from gambling?
Pay.
Taxes.
Pay
Yeah,
stuff.
Adult things.
Yeah,
And
Christmas is around the corner.
and of course, drugs and beer.
No.
There's not gonna be any money left after he pays his 407 bill and pays for his trailer fees.
Oh, it's like more than half of what I won.
Okay. All right, let's get this out of the way. So we haven't talked about this much. We've brought this topic up a few times because Mark and Ian and I thought this has been a story that was undercovered, and I know it's been touched on and it's been in the media all over the place
for good reasons.
For good reason, but for the past 2 weeks, the Chicago Blackhawks thing. We're going to touch on it just briefly here, and I know a lot of people are. I don't want to say tired of hearing about it because it's an important
They're not tired.
topic.
Nobody should be tired of hearing this.
But it's also been talked about a lot. So we're just going to throw some of our thoughts on
When
this.
did we first bring this up? Do you remember?
Like a couple months
Summer.
ago.
Was it the summer or was it before
Yeah. I want to say August.
then? I just remember Mark bringing it up, and
Yes.
we didn't even know who the guy was back then, right?
No, well, and that's just recent. And I feel like that part of it has made it a little bit
This guy was a
easier to
first-round
cover.
draft pick.
Yeah, Kyle Beach. He's a survivor.
So that just goes to show you what kind of organization Chicago Blackhawks, a first round pick, 2 year, and then 2 years later they're calling him a liar and they don't give a shit. So
Yeah,
great.
the Stanley Cup run was more important than supporting a victim of sexual abuse. And as much as this is still a topic that should be talked about, Akeem Alou,
That was the same season.
it was the same season where
Same team.
same organization, same people working there, was
Same
basically
teammates.
packed out of the league.
Winning over
was,
everything.
Winning was more important than a human's well-being.
Multiple humans' well-being.
Yeah.
Any human's well-being. And you know what? They won. So good for them that they won. And at what cost? We know what the cost is now.
You know what the cost is? They lost probably, at the end of the day, millions in sponsors, probably millions in fans, and you know what? Publicity is gonna blacklist you for the rest of your life in the NHL. But congrats on your Stanley Cup, Chicago. You did so well. Makes Houston cheating like almost good.
You know, okay, so let's go down that road for a second. I saw a quote, and I don't know who said it. I can't remember. I saw it on Twitter just half an hour ago. Was it Hank Aaron? It might have been a Hank Aaron quote saying that anybody involved in the Houston Astros trash can banging thing from 2018, anybody involved with that should be suspended from baseball or like expelled from baseball, never be allowed to do baseball thing. I think it might have been Hank Aaron. I don't know.
No, he's whatever, but
yeah,
I know.
An old guy from baseball.
Yeah, which is fair, but
at the same time,
He was probably on steroids when he
You
played.
look
cheating
at-
in baseball like that isn't criminal. Doing what fucking
That was-
happened in the
it was-
Chicago Blackhawks organization.
it literally,
It's kind of fraud, but it's not as bad as sexual
it was on the field.
assault.
It was not, it was within the
There
sport.
is legit a law that says if you do the things that guy
Yep.
did to Kyle Beach, you should be punished and put in fucking jail. And anybody who's an accomplice or told the guy, hey, whatever, you're fine, they should be fucking punished and sent to whatever.
Yep.
That kind of makes them an accomplice.
That's what I just said.
As opposed to banging on a trash can. It
Yeah.
kind of puts
Yeah.
it puts things into perspective.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's no comparison there.
One helped the team win. The other thing was a crime against humanity.
Well, against one guy.
And a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, there's more than one John Doe in the case.
Oh, is there now?
There's
Yeah,
well, no,
and
there,
the only
there
person to
has been.
apologize to that 16-year-old kid is Kyle Beach.
Technically, yeah,
On
the record,
on record.
on record.
And Kyle Beach is the
Where's,
last person
where
who
is
should be
Aldrich right
apologizing.
now?
I don't know.
Hopefully,
Nobody knows.
I'm not going to say where I hope he is.
Dead.
Or no.
So we appreciate that. There's been a lot has gone on in hockey over the past 2 years. It's about 2 years ago now that
You know what? The last 5 years, man.
well, I was gonna say 2 years because Don Cherry thing was 2 years ago.
Yeah, we can even bring it back to like Humboldt and all that stuff too, man. It's been a rough half decade for hockey in terms of everything.
You know what? You're right. If you go back that far, the Humboldt thing.
Even Locomotive, like you go back far, man, it's been a rough decade for hockey.
Locomotive, that's over a decade now. Yeah, that plane crash. That's like
Oh, the Russian team.
crazy random.
Like there's a lot of hockey's been
But listen this is just over the past 2 years.
Yeah, I know. I'm listening.
We got the Don Cherry thing. That's only 2019. Then right after that, you had the Mike Babcock, and then you had the unwinding of those coaches and the allegations.
Yeah, Bill Peters and I forget the other guy, but
Then you have the pandemic. Well, that hits everybody. All sorts of mental health stuff in interwinding in here too. You've got the Black Lives Matter movement that was during the pandemic, and how the NHL mishandled or weren't leaders in that aspect either. You have the LGBTQ2S plus movement going on as well. It's a lot of abbreviations. It's getting a little mud. I don't know how
Can
many
we just
more
call it the
abbreviations.
L?
LGBTQ2S plus. Women's sports also intertwined and it's not that shouldn't be a burden, but it's just it keeps the conversation.
and the
it's
NHL
heavy.
said they wouldn't support a professional women's league already unless they were affiliated with the NHL. So the NHL basically said, hey, unless you want to be affiliated with us, we're not helping you.
Meaning give us money.
You literally let us take over everything you do.
Blackhawks fire the coach.
Colton?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well,
Might just be because they suck right now.
and then you have the whole and you know the whole injection vaccine or no vaccine now, masks, then the
Yeah.
bubble season and all of this nonsense too. And so it's all by way of saying the last 2 years there's been a lot of heavy off ice stuff, and hockey is supposed to be fun. Sports are supposed to be fun. And so we appreciate that everybody who's been covering this story, because it needs to be covered, but it's not fun the way sports is supposed to be fun.
Guess what I did yesterday?
Ian, did you play hockey for the first time in ages?
Yeah, in like a year and a half.
Wow, how'd you feel after that?
I'm still sore.
Oh boy.
I'll probably be sore for a couple days, not gonna lie.
I played I think I told you guys this. I played 2 nights in a row, my first time playing back.
Yeah.
And goaltending.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this was something.
Quads, groin, hamstrings,
Yeah.
shins.
I'm not looking forward to the next Friday.
My core right here
What
and
about
the
your
sides.
glutes? What about your ass muscles, Ian?
No, my ass is good.
Oh.
I do a lot of walking.
I wasn't asking about your ass. I was asking about your ass muscles. Gotta be specific. Anyway, well, so basically, you have Stan Bowman, Al McIsaac, Joel Quinville, and Kevin Cheveldayoff. I appreciate that they don't want to paint everyone with the same brush.
Did you listen to the Winnipeg Jets presser with the owner? And
I have yet to do that. You want to just give us your thoughts on it?
I forget the Jets owner's name.
This is the Jets owner with Kevin Cheveldayoff after they announced that
was on
Cheveldayoff
Friday.
wasn't going to be penalized by the NHL.
Yeah, it was on Thursday or Friday. I forget which day, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The Jets owner, first of all, apologized to Kyle Beach. Second of all,
Great start.
he almost called out the NHL. He basically called out the NHL, saying they
Jets
didn't
owner?
do a good enough job. Yes, he advocated that the Jets are going to be starting programs to help these survivors. What I liked most is that he didn't call these people of sexual abuse victims.
Mm-hmm.
He called them survivors. And he also related that he has shit in his family where he's had to deal with that trauma in this press conference. And like the way he came out and was just like, hey, we're going to do the right thing. And what he said about Cheveldayoff was like, in that meeting, Cheveldayoff said there was a harassment accusation going on. It had nothing to do with, he in that meeting, it didn't bring up anything about abuse or all that stuff. It was like an harassment thing.
Okay. Right. So basically Cheveldayoff was not exposed to the information that was going around
Yes.
right now. He didn't have the same knowledge. Allegedly.
Yes.
Right.
But the owner for the Jets, I think, sounded very unlike Gary Bettman in his press conference, where Gary Bettman lawyered the shit out of every question.
Gary Bettman.
This guy basically said the entire league mishandled this, and the Jets are gonna do whatever they can to make things better forward.
The Jets, who didn't exist in 2010. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a PR thing or whatever, but
a little bit has to be, but it depends on what their actions are afterwards.
Yeah, I was listening to it on the radio too, and you could almost hear the Jets owner like almost in tears when he was talking. You could hear that it was almost genuine, and it wasn't a billionaire just tooting his horn.
Right. Which is a little bit...
So that means it hit close to home for him, for sure.
It did, totally.
It will, and it will for a lot of people, but that's not something that we got from Gary Bettman, who basically came out and was a robot and a lawyer.
This guy's just a businessman. He's not a
lawyer.
He's not a person.
Robot.
Yeah. He's like Elon... no. He's like... Who's the guy that... Zuckerberg. Yeah. They're both robots.
A little. Yeah. What really gets me, though, is that how recently ago, like within the past few weeks, the Blackhawks straight up lied and said there was nothing to this. What gets me, though, the headlines from 2020 back to 2012 when Kyle Beach was traded, calling him a first-round bust, because nobody had any idea this was going on.
Yeah, like we were never told.
No, nobody was ever told. You look at the headlines, you feel bad about it now, but in that circumstance, like, Mark, how many first-round picks that were drafted as high as Kyle Beach was didn't pan out?
0.
So he is clearly, like, it's kind of like a red flag right there if you look back in history and you're like, how mishandled
Nail Yakupov.
This hockey player was.
Played games, though.
Yeah, Nail Yakupov, he played in the NHL.
Yeah, but he sucked.
Well, that's a different issue entirely. We suspect, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Not to, I don't want to go down and start saying that anything is there when we don't know, but maybe. Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Well, and it couldn't even be with not the team. It could be something through the family that you don't know, right?
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You know what they say? Everybody's fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So who knows? And there were reports that Nail Yakupov wanted to go back to Russia and just enjoyed that lifestyle better, which is totally fine. That's
who knows?
Something I can't relate to.
Russia could be threatening his family for him to come back to Russia. You don't know.
We've seen stuff like that kind of before, haven't we? Or we've heard of things.
The Panarin thing last year.
The thing that really gets me, not related to this, but in terms of a fix, like an easy fix,
like,
why don't you just introduce the players to somebody in HR and have an HR contact all these teams, all these organizations have an HR department, have an HR person, just have a designated HR person for the players. Maybe that's what the GM is for, but at the start of the year, I'd assume all these players are introduced to somebody from the actual office. Maybe not, which is a huge miss, but hey, here's Linda, here's Brenda from HR. And if you have any trouble and you need to talk to an independent person outside of like team ops about anything, here's her phone number. Here's her contact information. She'll be around the rink occasionally.
And I'm sure they have that for a lot of teams now.
But more importantly, the HR person is more well-versed in issues surrounding this than a coach who's great at chalking up a power play or...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's great that he mentioned it to somebody and then it was the escalation. That's where it fell apart.
That's another thing where the Jets owner said, he was like, people of what Kyle Beach went through, they go through 3 like stages of like they talk about it and people listen and act on it. Yeah. They don't believe them.
That's number 2.
And number 3 was what happened with Kyle. They tell them they're going to do something and they don't do anything. There was 0 accountability.
I don't know if anyone, and obviously nobody was trained, nobody was equipped to do anything here. And if they were,
they probably were.
They were in a position of power but they had other
refuse to
priorities.
use it
Yeah.
for the right reason.
Yep.
So you coach.
Mm-hmm.
You coach women.
I have for a while. Yep.
Are you coaching again this year?
We have tryouts this weekend.
Okay. So
Can I come?
imagine your team. Your team is an
They're better than
organization.
you, man. They're better than you. I'll be honest.
Your
They're better.
team's an organization.
Yeah.
Imagine and you're the coach. Quenneville basically said your playoff run is more important than whatever's going on with Kyle Beach. That's
Yes.
what he said.
Winning is
So-
more important. Winning over everything.
If you were in, what is your big tournament for like provincials or? whatever?
It'd be like the Ontario College.
Okay.
tournaments.
Imagine
Yeah.
you're in that tournament. You're about to win your round robin game 4.
Sure.
No game, and this shit comes out. What would you have done as a coach? Like somebody came to you with this information that happened to Kyle Beach, that happened to one of your women.
That's a tough one. It's a little different.
I know it's a
because
tough
the
one, but I
support
just
network's
want to
different.
ask. It's. But
First and
you're a coach,
foremost. First and foremost is
They probably wouldn't come to you first. They'd go to someone else on the team.
it depends. I feel like it depends on the relationship you have with each of them because
no, but what if this information, like, just the light came out?
Yeah.
That's the exact same thing what happened with Chicago.
I would say first and foremost, like you just listen.
Yeah, like that's,
You listen. You try to.
And
you
Chicago
understand.
didn't give Kyle Beach the light of day to listen.
You listen, and you try to understand. You don't promise to fix anything right then and there. You can't really do that. But you also, I would escalate it immediately to the appropriate people. Yeah, through the appropriate channels. Secondarily, I am not equipped personally to handle a conversation like that.
No, you're not.
In the moment, if they need someone to speak with, absolutely, just like any friend would.
So you're telling me you would put that person above the team's thing? Like the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't think it really is really a question. I think
Exactly.
it's more. Now you have to understand.
That's why it shouldn't
what
be
can
a
you
question.
do about it at the time?
Exactly.
Yeah, at the time, all you can
That's
do
what
is
I'm
listen.
saying, and
All
you're
you can
right.
do is
It
listen.
shouldn't be a question, but Joe Quenneville, the way he handled it, makes it a question.
And the biggest question is, it's like you guys, you have an entire organization. Like
You have millions of dollars.
you have an HR team.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had an HR person there with me, or I had somebody
Yeah.
from the athletics department, for example, I'd say, you know what? They are more equipped than myself, and they would have the right contact
So
information.
you've already
at
done
the
a better job
university.
than the Chicago Blackhawks.
You need to speak to. You need to speak
You
to a
saying
professional.
this right now says you've already done a better job than the Blackhawks.
If I was placed in that situation,
This is looking at it in hindsight as well. though.
Ian. You're also.
Like, it's already
but-
happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg's also a person who could be put in that circumstance at any time when he goes to the rink.
Hypothetically, well, or with any, or with I work with the city as
Yeah.
well, and with any abuse thing,
Yeah.
you have to report it. Like that's it's by law, if you suspect any sort of, because if you're dealing with minors,
Yes.
you have to report it. You are
No, that's what I mean. I
legally
wanted
obligated
like an opinion from an actual coach who
Yeah.
does an actual competitive level of coaching, not a house league nuance. You coach these women who are actually striving to go somewhere potentially with their sport.
I managed three teams.
But you know what I mean. You know what I
hockey
mean. Like this
I
is probably
understand.
some of the highest level hockey all that they've played.
to. Some of them maybe.
I
Some
thought
of
we
them
were
maybe
going to keep
not.
this
Depends.
short. We've been on this for like 20 minutes.
Well, no,
'Cause
but it's a question that's outside that this topic spurs. It's an offshoot of this topic, and it's just understand that not every. Here, I'll change this subject, but answer your question at the same time. Brady Tkachuk was just named. Congratulations, Brady.
Captain.
Captain of the Ottawa Senators.
Wrong one.
Fuck.
Congrats, Brady.
It was supposed to be
Now,
that.
one, I guess the off topic is, do you really want somebody who held out on you this season to then be
representing your team.
Yeah, like that's a question.
That's a good question.
Why
would you want that?
If he's the guy, if he's the right guy, I'd name him captain next year.
Also, it depends on yes.
Why didn't you just say, hey, we'll sit on this. We don't need jersey sales. Why is the guy who's the leader of our organization, he also is the guy that said, fuck you, give me more money. That's the leadership
I don't know if
style.
that's true, though. That's the only thing.
No, but you can always do it next year.
You can just kind of assume
Yeah,
that.
I know. That's just Ottawa mismanaging what they should have done with naming the captain. That has nothing to do with him getting paid.
There's two sides. There's two sides, and that's absolutely true. Now, that does not make Brady Tkachuk, giving him a letter on his jersey does not make an NHL hockey player, including Brady Tkachuk or Jonathan Toews, equipped or a professional in managing these sorts of
Circumstances.
Yeah.
No,
so
they're there to motivate your team.
They're there to motivate. They are. The C on the jersey is more for jersey sales than it is to be an HR rep for your team.
The only thing I blame Jonathan Toews for is standing up for a person who
Stan Bowman
almost,
which is fair.
Just let it go. Let it happen.
Because if you are,
so I was listening to the Kipper and Bourne on 590, and Kipper was talking about Doug McLean being on there. And Doug McLean is really good friends with Stan Bowman and all those guys.
Right.
And Kipper said, he quoted Doug McLean. Doug McLean said, quoted from Kipper saying, Doug McLean, I let these guys in my house. These guys were my friends. He said, he dropped an F-bomb on the air. I will never let these guys around my fucking family again.
Wow.
Like Stan Bowman, you mean?
That Chicago, those guys in the Blackhawks organization. He said he does not want anything to do with these people again in his life. He was like,
that's a huge statement.
I feel ashamed. He was like, he was ashamed of having these guys at his house and being friends with them.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, they had, the further it goes in the past, the smaller it gets in your rearview mirror, in your mind. That's just how our minds work. If you're a survivor / victim, obviously not. But if it happened to somebody else, as you can imagine how it would get smaller in Stan Bowman's rearview mirror. But you've had 10 years to, after 10, and you still call him a month ago called this John Doe a liar, but nothing stopped you after your Stanley Cup run if that was so important to you. It's the biggest trophy in the sport. So let's not in all of this, let's not overstate how important it is to win a Stanley Cup.
Let's not.
But at the same time, you could have had while you're focusing on the Stanley Cup, you could have also
done what is sociological right.
Literally, you're not battling for a Stanley Cup 24 hours a day. You're maybe preparing for the game, but you have staff who are very well equipped in your organization.
You literally have $1 billion.
This,
you can hire people to do it fucking for you.
which is probably better than, or you keep it internal and you have an HR team or your assistant GM or someone do something.
It sounds, Greg, you know what? We should put in a bid for the Arizona Coyotes.
The ownership group?
Yeah.
How many Timbits are left in that Timbits box?
I don't know if Ian ate any.
I
had one.
That's probably enough to buy the Arizona Coyotes.
We got 3 chocolate, 2 honey dip.
Oh, if you had one more
If we bring
chocolate-
Phil Kessel a hot dog, I guarantee we could fucking get it.
I kind of want a hot dog too, to be honest.
Fuck.
So kind of weird. I'm just on fantasy hockey right now, and I was looking at 14-day average for players to pick up. Is that a football jersey?
Oh, let's see.
John Lizzo?
It looks like an Eagles football jersey that the guy, the pitcher of the guy. This guy was just called up from the AHL. Normally those guys don't have pitchers, right? It looks like he's got
Is it a guy in the Eagles? Let's see.
It looks like it's an Eagles football jersey.
Kinda. Can you take a screenshot and zoom in?
Yeah, that's an Eagles jersey.
It's got the shininess of the football
NHL jerseys aren't shiny like that.
No, that's an Eagles NFL jersey.
That's what I
You can
thought.
see it in the thing. You can see the NFL logo.
I thought it was an NFL. I don't know if it was the shine off.
How did you, Ian? He's 0% owned. What are you looking for?
I was looking at 14-day average. He's only played one game, and I guess he had a good game.
What did he do? Get into a fight?
He 2 PIMs, shot, 3 hits, 4 blocks.
Oh, that's good.
That's a solid game.
Yeah.
You gonna pick him up?
No, I'm like, what the fuck jersey is that?
Is this Ian trying to transition from the Blackhawks?
Yeah, do you want to wrap this up? I feel like I've said all that I really need to say.
Anybody involved and keeping quiet and not.
Okay, so if Taves and Kane knew about this, I don't think they should be playing in the NHL.
Taves should never wear a fucking.
I don't care.
Taves should never see a friggin' maple leaf on his
he's not gonna
chest
make
again.
the team now for sure.
Doesn't matter. There's championships and all that stuff. There's Spangler when he retires and all that shit. That guy should never see a maple leaf on his chest again.
Yeah.
The statement I heard from him most recently, or I saw printed out from him, it went along the lines of, I wish I'd done something. We were just focused on playing hockey.
Yeah. So
which, you know what?
That's his job.
It is
to
your
play
job.
Hockey, but...
However, if you don't speak up against something, then you are agreeing with it.
it's like seeing the stuff with the policing and the like
other
Black
police,
Lives Matter
other
stuff.
police not stepping up.
If you work with them and you're not first standing up against racism, you're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you work in this organization and you're not standing up against sexual assault, you're a part of the fucking problem. You're enabling it.
Yeah.
If you know it's happening, you're an enabler.
It's just, I wish that he was 23 at the time.
When I was 23, I wouldn't let that happen anywhere around me.
You hope not. But
I didn't have millions of dollars and live a lifestyle like they got to do. They were more privileged than I was, and I still wouldn't let that happen.
yeah.
Imagine having power at 23 and being able to make a change. They didn't try to.
No. And I
They
mean,
can go
and do
fuck
they regret
themselves.
it? Do they regret it or not?
I
mean,
hope they do.
They sound like they
I
might.
regret things in my life, but they didn't fucking make me go from a fucking golden boy to a fucking black sheep.
Mm-hmm.
That's all what Taves is now. Guy can go screw himself, and I hope Americans feel the same way about Kane. And
No,
Stan Bowman.
Yeah, Americans probably love Kane for it.
No, I hope they do. I hope they're sick to their stomach with USA hockey.
And well, you like you
Because
said,
Stan Bowman and Patrick Kane are their golden boys.
I can guarantee
That's true, yeah.
Patrick Kane will be on the U.S. hockey team for this Olympics.
I would say it's unlikely that he's not.
Yes,
I think Canada has more options.
a lot more.
And
And
we're,
better.
And there's a different
And Taves isn't
expectation in
that
this country.
good
It
anymore.
seems, for better or for worse.
Yes.
There is. There's our level of tolerance for this sort of thing is, it will reveal itself in time very soon.
Yes, we will see.
Yep.
So if Mike Babcock was still coaching, Taves might be on the team. Just saying.
Now, listen, we also can't put those two in the same boat. Like, all right, Mitch, make this list versus something, criminal.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying he's like gonna
Like,
take him.
I did not
yeah,
try
he
to
wants
make
to
that a
win.
joke. Sorry.
But at the same time, Mark, we also have a few friends who are Blackhawks fans, and do you know how they're feeling? I haven't talked to any Blackhawks.
They're pretty
fans,
ashamed.
but I know a few
I got one who doesn't want to wear his jersey ever again, kind of, sort of.
Blackhawks jersey again.
I think it's a Canada jersey.
I understand.
with someone's name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan Taves. But yeah, they're pretty ashamed to be fans of said team.
I feel bad for the fans because how do they know that any of this is going to happen? Like, you don't know.
You don't, but
You can't expect this to happen. Like, Ian, imagine like the Detroit Red Wings came out and you'd be like, well, I didn't know that
No, yeah.
a favorite player of mine growing up was
An asshole.
insert thing that could have happened. Like,
rapist.
How
like
do
I
we
said,
know?
like even though the liner stuff that he said about Vigneault's been swept under the rug pretty good, but
Oh,
if
yeah,
it
I
comes
was
out to
talking
light
about
that Philadelphia was administering shit, I will not be a fan of that team.
Mark, I'm glad you
Like
brought
I
that up.
can't be a fan of an organization that is criminal.
Because that could be, Mark, that could be
It's
the next
fucked.
story.
How
That
can you
could be the
support
next thing.
psychopaths?
Well, the thing that came out with like the Babcock thing back then, when I heard like the kind of shit that he was doing in Detroit, I was just like, you fucking kidding me? It's a good thing it was one guy doing it, not a whole organization.
Yeah.
You could sort of isolate it.
But Ferguson still knew, and they got rid of him, right?
Yeah.
Like the Illich family's good for Detroit, so I think they're okay there.
Well, they built them a fucking stadium without asking for taxpayer money. Damn right they're good for them.
I guess the last thing I'll touch on this, and I'll just sort of take a step back, and it's just important to remember that right now it's 2021, and a lot has happened, and I went through a list.
Hey, the NHL still lives in the 1980s, but
but society doesn't.
Exactly.
And society,
and I hope we can fucking out these fucking
as a
fucks.
society, a lot has happened in the last 5 years. We've progressed very far. There's a long way to go.
Hey, even though we've gone a lot through COVID, I think we've progressed a lot positively in the last 5 years.
But to look back
in terms of what is right and wrong.
Honestly, I don't.
10 years ago.
I don't even say it's NHL culture though. I think it's just hockey culture in general.
Hockey, but I'm just saying society.
Hey, I guarantee the three of us have played with guys who you thought were pieces of shit. I'll leave it to that.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. I can. Yeah. Luckily, not recently.
No, not well. We're older, but when we were younger, we were like, yeah, definitely guys that are on the spectrum of like, yep. You'd be one of those players. You'd be one of those guys.
Yeah, I could. No, I'm lucky that I can't name too many of them, but I can definitely.
But it's still. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they're gonna have kids, and
the apple doesn't fall far
exactly.
from the tree. But just keep in mind when you look back at something that happened 10 years ago. At that point in time, like we're looking back 10 years, and that 10 years, it's like it might as well be 30, because of how much things have changed just in the past 5, that things 3 years ago are no longer acceptable.
Yep.
Let alone 5 years ago. And now you're looking back at it in hindsight. And this is a completely random example. I'm just going to pick something that all of us have done. Everybody listening has done. Let's just say, and this is not in the same realm of what happened with the Blackhawks.
You're not trying to make a comparison.
I'm not making a comparison, but imagine in 20 years, jaywalking is the most.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Just like
I do it all the time.
Hold on, but listen.
I don't even hesitate.
Let me paint a quick picture. There's auto driving cars. Cars are going faster now. Whatever. For whatever reason, jaywalking is literally like the next. You have to wear a face mask inside. Like, how dare you jaywalk? Today, you're like, I jaywalk all the time because COVID. I crossed the street with my dog just to stay away from people.
Dude,
just
you
to
beat
stay
traffic.
distance. You beat traffic. Jaywalk. Okay, whatever. You look downtown Toronto. If you don't jaywalk, you're not getting anywhere. Basically,
no.
But in
beat the red lights.
In 20 years, could you see a future? And I'm not saying that I'm going to predict that I know a series of events that will happen over the next 20 years, hypothetically, to lead to jaywalking being like absolutely terrible.
Hey, Greg, I would love a future where everybody follows the law.
But imagine jaywalking.
As long as all drugs are.
Imagine jaywalking.
Ian just dunked a Timbit into his mouth.
Okay, stop. Imagine jaywalking was as punishable as killing somebody. Like, imagine that level of
obedience.
No, just the series of events that would lead to that. And then in 20 years from now, if we look back and be like, oh my God, we jaywalked all the time. We were all criminals. Well, no, it's not. I mean, it's illegal now, but like, you're not going to get a ticket for everything. So I'm not saying that
I smoked weed all the time when it wasn't legal.
Well, that's another example.
Yeah.
That's another example that a lot of
drinking.
listeners.
Okay, let's be honest. We've all had a beer in the middle of the fucking downtown Toronto before a game.
I have not.
Let's be honest. Or we've had a beer on the go train. Like,
yeah, I haven't had that either.
He just want to incriminate himself.
You've smoked weed, Ian, so you'd like.
But like,
don't incriminate me.
Let's just say people have done things like that.
Yeah,
that are
all the time.
That's the exact opposite. That are no longer legal, but it's but it's the same thing.
It's funny because like
it is the same thing. Yeah,
it's just the reverse.
Some of that shit that's like legal here, like public drinking, it's not legal in every country.
Ian,
like
you're not allowed to publicly drink in Ontario.
I know, but I mean, like,
but imagine if you were allowed to have like beers in the park or something with all your friends and throw a frisbee. I guarantee we'd be a lot happier province.
I don't know.
Well,
instead of forcing,
like the UK, you're allowed to walk around with a takeout beer. You're allowed
I was going to say in Europe.
You're allowed to get a takeout
place in Europe.
Fucking pint.
I know.
Yep.
I was walking around Portugal with friggin' beer all the time and wine all the time.
Yeah, but you were on like some little island.
Doesn't matter. The same law applies.
Same law.
I don't know.
And it only cost 99 cents for like a liter of friggin' box wine.
Yeah.
For a liter of cola.
And you said it was really good too.
Oh, it was so good.
I'm just saying that looking back at 2010 through the lens of 2021, I would just caution you to I would just caution you to when you look back at anything, especially this, they put winning first. What was it the right thing to do? I'll let everybody individually answer that themselves. But 10 years ago, it appeared. Are the Chicago Blackhawks? Would they be any different than any other organization? That's the question I have. And there's no way we can answer that question. If that insert any other NHL team, would they have done things differently? We don't know.
That's a good question.
We hope
and
so.
And we don't have the answer for it.
And we can't know.
But we all hope they would do something different.
But I doubt that that's the case.
And do you know what sucks?
The question
is that I agree with you.
Yeah.
It takes
Kipper asked that question too on the thing, and Justin Bourne was on him, and I don't think he was like, I don't think I can say no.
No.
As bad as it is, it always takes like a thing like this to happen for change to happen.
And that's where it tells you there's a culture problem.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this at Amigos, and it's a bit older crowd. Like I dropped the age like by quite a bit when I'm chilling with the regulars at Amigos.
Mark drops the team.
But
the
like
average team
I didn't want to like kind of pull the thing where like you don't need people your age working there anymore. I was like, the person running the NHL should be like 30, 35, like a kid who's done all his ethics training at that age and like knows what life is now.
Yeah.
And he's able to discipline, or not they are able to discipline to what is outstanding now, not some guy who's, i.e. Bettman, who's catering to who gives them the most money.
The billionaires.
He's a billionaire robot.
It needs a whole
puppet.
sociological change. The way a lot of government does too.
Batman is a great businessman. Yes. They need someone else that's a front man.
No, you know what? I think
they need someone else that's like in charge, but Batman could still do the business dealings.
No. I think you need kids as in like 35, 40-year-olds running these businesses now.
So they're just more connected with the world.
Exactly. And they know what's going on. They know how to use Twitter. They know what a password is.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
I just think everything needs to go young. Technology's young. Technology's new every year. Why the hell can't we have young people in business?
Yeah, there's not to say that experience isn't important, but it's no longer the only thing, and unfortunately in hockey. Well, you know what? You've heard me say this on the podcast so many times, is that's why Kyle Dubas, it's like we're so lucky to have him, because would that happen under Kyle Dubas's watch or Brendan Shanahan's watch?
Definitely not under Dubas.
I would suspect very much.
I hope Dubas.
So. You know what? I'm going to say I hope so.
You hope that it wouldn't.
I hope that it wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, well, you see, anytime.
The reason I can't say that I think
anything happens to one of the Leaf players, Dubas jumps.
Yeah.
Dubas had a little history in the OHL where he covered a couple things up.
Like what?
A couple kids being stupid with things like sexual bullshit with underage, like 16-year-olds being doing stupid shit and blah blah blah. Dubas tries to
teenagers being teenagers.
It's whatever. It's still bad, but
right.
I don't know. I just think hockey, we've all grown up playing it. I think a lot of higher ups in hockey just try to cover anything to keep their ass nice.
And at the same time, the conversation is about hockey, but I don't think it really has.
It changes from sport. It doesn't change from.
It doesn't change from sport to sport.
It could be worse in other sports, and you don't even know.
We don't, because three of us aren't invested into any other sport, but
not to the same degree.
No, and also, there's no other sport that's as invested into hockey as Canada. Like, we don't invest ourselves into any other sport but hockey.
Not particularly.
We
like to think that we support the women's national soccer team, but come on.
States, there's 3 sports they invest in before hockey.
Yeah, and the amount
there's probably more.
The amount
but I'm just talking about on a pro scale.
I understand.
But the amount they invest in, like
NASCAR.
NFL, I guarantee there is millions of cover-ups that have happened that are 100 times worse than anything.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Oh, the owner of the one team, right?
The football.
No, in the NCAA.
Oh no, but there was an owner of one of the teams
NCAA.
that was like caught like with hookers or prostitutes or some shit. I don't know.
Gudrian.
Yeah, I don't
Gudrian, the Raiders head coach.
Whatever.
The Oh, there's a bunch of shit going on.
Yeah. So
whatever.
the NFL
Yeah.
has shit.
They-
It just gets covered up because they get so much money. They don't care.
That's true. Yep.
And Americans love it. America.
Home of the free and land of the brave. There you go. Guys, let's move on. Are we satisfied? We can keep going down this rabbit hole, but I think there's a lot of other things to talk
I'm
about.
satisfied.
Mark's
We got
satisfied?
another week.
Yeah, there's another week to sit on it.
Westhead's going to come out with a bunch of stuff too, just to...
Just follow him.
To your point, Mark,
Get your points.
the Flyers thing and the drug thing with
Yeah,
the Kyle Glass.
That just like disappeared.
Sorry, is his name Kyle?
No,
Glass.
it was supposed to be. It was Patrick Nolan, wasn't it?
Nolan Patrick.
Nolan Patrick.
Oh, sorry, Glass was who they traded for. Nolan Patrick. I'm sorry, Nolan Patrick.
We just assume it was Nolan Patrick. His name never came up.
That's true.
Yeah, it's whatever.
He might be that might be the next story. So let's just keep an eye out for that because
but
you never know.
But Liner retracted his statement about Vigneault.
Yeah.
Oh no, he didn't retract his statement. He just clarified what he meant. He didn't he said that Vigneault wasn't the one administering the drugs.
Yeah.
Which
he said if Vigneault is doing this, he should be.
Yeah, and I said if this comes to light and it's true, I won't be a fan anymore.
Yeah, no. When you read the initial quote,
Yeah, it was.
you understood what he meant, but if you read it literally, then it's like, oh, Vigneault's literally a pharmaceutical guy. It's like but I understand that. All right, let's
like Vigneault's not going to reach into a cabinet and be like, "Hey, take some of these."
Dr. Vigneault. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's do Ian said so we're going to move on. Ian said he didn't want to talk another word about this until something happened.
You know what? I think we had a pretty good talk about that.
I think that was a good conversation. Well done, gentlemen. Well done. We did good, I think. Let us know if we did good. Ian said he didn't want to hear another word about this, and we weren't going to talk about this.
Oh, the Eichel.
The Jack Eichel thing.
Yeah, well, I really didn't want to hear another
Did you
thing about
guys
it
see
until something happened.
Did you guys see the Calgary rumor like the night before?
Yeah.
Like, hours before? I was like, man, if that was true, fucking Buffalo's stupid that they didn't take Matthew Tkachuk.
And
Matthews
2 firsts and 2 prospects or whatever the rumor was. It was a big package. I'm like,
Yeah. I was like,
Did you hear?
What was the rumor?
it was Matthew Tkachuk from Calgary, 2 firsts, a second, and I think a 4th.
That was
And there was like
way
2
more than
there
what
was
they
2
got.
prospects in there. There's a couple prospects. It was a lot.
They didn't get shit from Vegas for what.
I heard some people say I would do Kachuk for Eichel straight up, and I'm like, oh, pump the brakes on that one.
I would do Kachuk, a first
Kachuk
and
and a first.
a Kachuk and 2 firsts.
I would do Kachuk
Eichel.
and a first. But Kachuk's not a center.
Yeah.
Eichel's a center. Eichel's one of the best centers in the league.
Yeah.
Amy's so happy as soon as that trade happened. She's like, thank you for telling me to pick him.
Oh, that's funny. That rumor.
Yeah, we shouldn't do a keeper league next year.
That rumor. Apparently, so Calgary or someone's unhappy because that rumor apparently, and this was the rumor about the rumor, that the GM Adams of the Sabres leaked that rumor to Weeks, who they played together, and Weeks put that rumor out.
Yeah,
He may or may not have known it was fake, but Adams might have leaked him a fake rumor in order to leverage
Vegas,
the Vegas Golden
to do
Knights.
something.
That's totally what it was.
Because the Vegas package,
There was no
It's
way.
not nearly as good as what that
There's
was.
no way Calgary would have given that for Eichel.
You,
when they have
you literally
2
got
good
Alex
centers
Tuck, who's injured.
all the time.
yeah.
He's literally
And
Rupe Hintz, but he doesn't play center.
Krebs was good in the juniors, I remember.
He hasn't played in it. He's played a few NHL games.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then you got a couple
he was
picks.
good in the juniors.
Yeah,
but that's all I remember him from.
What do you guys think of this package? So let me just go over the trade just for anybody who hasn't read the news.
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to go over it real quick. Eichel plus,
A third.
yeah, that's a pick downgrade for Alex Tuck, who signed about the same length of time as Eichel signed. He signed for like the next 4 years. Alex Tuck was an 18th overall pick like 6-7 years ago.
He's a
2014.
damn good player when he's
good
healthy.
if he's healthy, but he has a problem.
Peyton
with being
Krebs,
healthy.
who was a first round pick, 17th overall by Vegas in 2019, so very recently, mid first round pick. A non-top 10 first round pick. That's what the first round and protected means. It can't be a top 10
I can't
pick.
believe Vegas.
They're not going to get a
this
top
level.
10.
And a pick upgrade. That's all that third round pick that they're giving back is just they're upgrading it to a second round pick, basically.
I can't believe they got him for that little.
It basically 2 players in a first. That's
and
the way I
a
see
small
it.
pick upgrade.
No, but like the way I see it is two players in a first.
It's
two
a player, a
former
prospect, and a mid-low first.
So 2 former first round picks
That are
We're
almost
going to come nowhere near as good
and
as
this
Eichel.
is Jack fucking Eichel, who was drafted second to Connor McDavid.
I'm sure
and
Eichel
there was even talks of Eichel possibly going.
I'm sure
before.
Eichel still has a combined more points than all those players in that.
That's only
trade.
2 players.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He does. He will have more.
Eichel's
points.
been injured probably a lot too. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I just hope this
fact
surgery
that
works
Vegas
for
had
him and
Eichel
he
for
comes
that
back.
little, I don't know why.
We haven't seen Eichel have a good season though. I want to see him do
really.
like 100-point season. He
will.
hasn't done it, and he will
He
playing
should.
with fucking Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty.
Unless they split those guys up.
No,
there's a
because they
super
already
line.
have a solid
Oh, there's a
second
super
line,
line.
with Rielly, Marchessault, and Carlson.
Carlson, yeah, they do.
But they're gonna
That's a
have to
solid line,
drop.
man.
They're gonna have to drop some caps somewhere. So I don't know what they're gonna get rid of.
You know what? I'm glad they have that problem.
I'm
up
probably
in their
trade
hands.
Petrangelo.
Pietrangelo, Theodore.
Yeah, someone like that.
They just signed Whitecloud for a decent amount, but they're not gonna trade him.
No. Yeah, I'm a little.
Hey,
underwhelmed,
it'd be
too.
someone in the top 6 probably, or one of the big 2D.
So, okay, can you guys explain to me, is Peyton Krebs like the next big thing? He was the guy that the Sabres really wanted from the Vegas Golden Knights. Is he like mid first round pick? Like solid, but
So what I don't get is how
That's what they had
teams
available.
are thinking Vegas is drafting this well, and they're like 3 years in the league. Like, why does everybody want Vegas's first round pick? Suzuki, Krebs.
I think it's the opposite. I think they're trading them because they want things. I don't think people are asking for them because that's the only thing they really have in their system.
Yeah, but if you're trading away some of your like literally generational talent, I don't really get it.
No, I understand what you're saying. So you're saying I don't understand why people are trading for Vegas's first round picks. I think it's the opposite. I think Vegas is trading away their first round picks because they're in win now mode.
Yeah, and like I don't get why teams are taking them because like why do you want a 30th overall pick?
Oh, he was 17th overall.
No, why do you want a
Krebs.
30th overall pick from Vegas back?
Oh, like the non-top.
Yeah.
I understand.
I thought you meant they're drafted.
No.
Players.
Their prospect. You mean their actual draft?
Yeah,
pick. I
Vegas is just
getcha.
like, yeah, take my guy. I'm going to take the guy better from you. And like, I don't care who you draft 30th because we're going to draft somebody better than you in the second round. I feel like Vegas has that mentality
I understand. Yeah, okay.
because they've drafted very good so far.
They've drafted well. I guess. I mean, they drafted Suzuki, and I mean, they didn't really develop him.
They drafted White Cloud.
Yeah.
Like they've done.
Did they draft White Cloud?
Yeah, they drafted the Cousins guy. They traded already.
Nick Cousins?
Another one. Dylan. I
Dylan
think.
Cousin.
Oh, the defenseman.
So
I haven't paid attention to their draft.
Like I think they have Brandstrom. They traded him to Ottawa.
yes, for Stone in the
Yeah.
Stone trade. They've given away a lot of
Yeah,
prospects.
man.
Yeah, but
Suzuki to
that's to
Montreal
get
for
shit.
Pats. But still, though, would you rather have Suzuki or Pacioretty?
Pacioretty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Would you rather have Brandstrom or fucking
Mark
Stone,
Stone.
Arena? Yeah, exactly. Like Vegas is.
Would you
clearly
rather
won
have
these trades.
Alex
And these
Tuck
aren't like 1-2 years down the road where you know that team that has them is going to win the trade. Like this is like already 4 years down the road, 3 years down the road, and these guys are still producing a lot more for Vegas than they are for the other team.
Well, I suppose the response to that would be, I understand what you're saying, but the response would be for Stone, they got more than just Brandstrom.
What
Yeah.
else did they get?
I don't remember.
Is it better than a 70, 80 point guy?
It's hard to argue. If you're getting the best player in the trade, it's hard to argue that you didn't win the trade.
Yeah.
So obviously Vegas got the best player in the trade,
That's what
unless
I mean.
Krebs literally becomes...
And I feel like the way Vegas is, they're confident with
than
their
Eichel.
drafting the way Dubas is with his, because Dubas has been killing the draft. Like with
Has
just
he?
the guys he's right. He's like the Wings. He's doing it like the Wings. They're just developing in the AHL.
I'd love to see some of these guys, though.
Hey, Detroit's guys.
Detroit, hey.
Hey Ian, how's
Hey.
Seider been? You want to talk about him?
Yeah, we haven't talked about the Red
I
Wings in a
I
minute.
gotta go change my pants.
Oh, boy.
We got him hard and that quick.
Yeah. Well, we saw the Leafs play the Red Wings. I don't have any notes beside that game.
That was a good
because-
game.
I mean, it's a good game. It was a while ago now. It was like last weekend.
It was last Saturday.
I think
A week
Seider.
ago.
I think Seider was the best player on the ice that game.
You know what he's ranked in our fantasy league?
Top 50.
He's like 27th.
I know.
I got him in
Another one?
Yeah.
It's probably not as good as our banger league, though.
No, it's plus minus.
Yeah.
No, he was a -1 in that game, and then the last 2 goals the Red Wings scored, he's on the ice for both, so he came out a +1. Yeah, Maurice Seider.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about the Red Wings, Ian. We haven't heard really much about the Red Wings for the past year.
Bertuzzi's a fucking retard and isn't vaccinated, so he missed the last 2 games.
But he still has 9
played.
points in 6 games or whatever.
Yeah, well, one of your top line winger isn't playing because he's not vaccinated and can't go to Toronto and Montreal.
It's not like he's
Fucking
injured or
annoying.
actually sick. He's just stupid.
Larkin's about to miss his 3rd straight game. It said with personal
reasons,
personal issues or personal family. I don't know if it's family or I think he has a young family, so it could be like one of the kids or
Fair
something.
enough. Sure.
So I think this is his 3rd game he's gonna miss today.
Okay.
But like their young guys are looking very good.
And they're without Vrana too, right?
Vrana's
he's out for like another 4 weeks.
I think he was 8 weeks at the start of the season.
Is that your top? That could be your top line there.
Well, Raymond's been playing top line.
Leads all. He's your leader in points.
Yeah, Lucas
The
Raymond's
trade
been
has
playing first line with Bertuzzi and Larkin.
You know they have 1-2 in rookie scoring.
Yeah, and then Seider's already jumped up. Like before the season started, I didn't think Seider would be playing first line power play.
Who are 1-2? Who are those? Who's this? It's Raymond and
Seider. Seider's got 9 assists in 10 games.
Dang.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ian, go ahead.
So no, I was just talking. And like Nedeljkovic is playing okay. Grice has kind of held it better for them.
Hold on, a 3rd round pick for Nedeljkovic.
Yeah.
Is he playing up to that 3rd round pick potential?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But like,
You trying to tell me no other team could have been like, I could have used a goalie.
but that was just the rights to sign him, right? And then they didn't sign him for that much.
And you got to think what other team he's going to is better than Detroit.
How about Edmonton? I'm sorry.
Did
Connor
anybody see
McDavid
that
and
goal
Leon
McDavid
Draisaitl.
scored yesterday?
That was disgusting. But
Men's league bullshit is what that was.
That's what I was
I'm talking
saying.
about Detroit.
Ian's talking about Detroit. Sorry.
Talking about Detroit.
Yeah, this is Greg's fault.
They called up Veleno in that Saturday game against.
And he scored.
He scored.
Good for him.
I think he had an apple as well.
Iserman drove him from Toronto.
Yeah. It's because he was called up from the Rapids, and Iserman had to drive Veleno from Detroit.
Why? How did that come to pass? Like, why didn't they just throw him on a flight? Is it COVID related, or is it just easier? I guess going across the border, it's easier to drive across.
I don't know where Grand Rapid actually is, but it's
Timing of
might be
flights and shit
it
like
might
that,
be
too.
might be weird to get to an airport and then get the flight to Toronto and then get from Toronto airport to downtown. Like that's probably going to take longer than just driving.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. If you actually break down the logistics of go from Grand Rapids to closest airport to customs to on the plane through with all your gear, then from probably Pearson, which is not close to Toronto.
No,
realistically,
no, it really isn't. Yeah,
it's in Mississauga, and
to get downtown
and
from
to
there.
get downtown.
Toronto's an hour from Toronto, and then another hour to get to downtown Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, and get through
From
customs again. Get your luggage. Hopefully, it wasn't lost.
Sorry, we lost your sticks.
Yeah, we lost your sticks and your hockey equipment. You're gonna have to go buy new ones.
Jeez.
But yeah, I thought he played a good game. That was a really nice move on the goal he scored. Or was it on the goal or on an assist? It was on. He made a really nice play on one of the goals for Detroit.
I can't remember, but I can picture it.
I was upset they lost the game, but it was a really good game, and that was one of the best games.
That
Toronto's
was a
played.
good game. That was one of the best games we've watched.
What was it? Matthews, I think, had 2 goals in that one.
My dad's on the roof. I see my dad.
With a hockey stick getting leafs out of the gutter. So I think Matthews had 2 in that game. I think Marner scored, and I think Tavares scored. So you had to have the top guys get 4 of your goals for you. That was a good game. I think Kerfoot got the other one.
Grace played okay too. Grace is a steady goalie.
Grace is solid.
Yeah.
And Mrazek was in net for the Leafs that night.
That was our first time watching Mrazek play.
Full game.
Yeah, not crazy impressed with Mrazek yet, but
there was some good goals
First
game.
First game. Yeah, first game.
Hey, did you see what Detroit did better than Toronto? Power play.
Hold on.
Detroit's first goal was Philip Zadina.
The Leafs power play is like 2 minutes of time off the clock.
Hold on. Explain to me what a power play is, because I, a Leafs fan, don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been It's been rough for the
Did you guys see that 5-on-3?
Actually, they did have
I listened to it on the radio.
They did have a good power play goal the other
You
night.
saw-
Joe Bowen was disgusted.
You saw exactly what you needed to see, Mark.
Was it?
Joe Bowen was like, and they let it out again.
Was that the Tampa one?
Yeah.
5-on-3.
Yeah,
that was
Mitch
when
Marner.
Marner got the high hit to the head, right?
Credit to the refs for calling 2 penalties on a play that should have had 2 penalties. As a Leaf fan, being
I don't think he
biased,
should have got suspended 2 games, though.
I
think that's a different issue, but definitely 2 penalties on the play. It was
Yeah.
a hit to the head,
Oh, it was
and it was a hook.
penalties.
It was 2 different guys.
Yeah.
Usually
It was
the
a
refs
headshot, and I think he's done it before too, Sergachev.
Yeah.
I think he's been suspended.
If he was a repeat offender, then that warrants a 2
It
games.
warrants it, but
But on its own, like a game, may
seen a lot worse.
go unsuspended.
Oh, yeah. Without going
It was
suspended.
it was situational again. Like he was leaning forward.
It's unnecessary.
Like the worst part is like
Yeah.
he got
I know
hooked.
I'm usually more against it, but I was like, man, I've seen a lot worse. That's just
No,
not been
but like
called.
he got hooked on the play, right? So like he lost the puck. He's trying to reach for the puck, and then Sergachev blindsides him.
Yeah.
And initial contact to the chin.
Yeah.
So like
And
That's a
Sergachev
bad
didn't
hit.
need to actually lean into him. He could have just like,
he could have just skated through the
You
puck.
could have, yeah.
yeah,
That's
unnecessary.
what I mean. It's
hit.
unnecessary. I just like 2 games. I was like, man, a lot of worse shit has happened, and guys have gotten less.
Yeah, well,
I agree.
I'm not saying what he did.
normally
isn't wrong.
you'd
It
be
was
up in
very
arms
wrong.
on that, Mark.
No, it was very wrong.
Normally
no,
you would be
I was up
Safety,
in arms.
throwing
Safety.
the book at
No,
Sergachev.
when I
That's
saw
true.
it happen, I was like, what the fuck? But like the 2 games, I was like, really?
I thought he deserved 2 easy.
It was more like I've seen a lot worse for a lot less.
That's
In a-
not a good thing.
I know. That's why I was like, is this the new president's? Because like
Precedent.
the next headshot, yes,
President.
the next headshot has to be minimum a game, in my opinion.
Depending on it.
I don't care who it is. The next headshot has to be a game.
Mark,
I'm
fair.
wondering-
That's fair.
I'm wondering if
Yeah, no,
if-
that's the way I see it.
I'm wondering if it's because it's delayed penalty as well.
No, I don't
like
care about that.
circumstantial.
No, but
I don't think
if there's
so.
another headshot that's similar to that play that Marner got, and it's like a fine, I'm gonna be like,
What the fuck? Why?
if I'm Tampa, I'm like, what the fuck?
If I'm the NHL, I'm like, well, I don't know.
They've rigged. They
Yeah,
don't know.
that's the way I'm That's the way I'm looking at it.
I
But
think
like,
they sit there with dice.
what
and they're like,
Sergachev
all right,
did though was dirty as fuck.
over 7
But
on
I
these
just don't think it owed
6-sided
2
dice.
games.
We'll give him 2 games. Under 6, he gets 1 game. Go.
Yeah, what he did was dirty. I just don't think it owned 2 games.
2 games is 2 games. It's
Yeah, it's
I think he
whatever for
deserves it.
Tampa, but
because that could have ended Marner's career right there. It's a hit to the head, Mark.
yeah, I know.
Don't
and you're
roll your
usually,
eyes.
and you're usually like safety. But I totally understand what you mean. It's like that should be 2 games, but other things should also be 2 games for that checking
That's
against
been
the boards.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
get it.
shit that's already been worse this year that should have been warranted.
And apparently, I didn't see this because I had hockey that night.
Initial contact.
Apparently Sergachev went and apologized to Marner, which doesn't really count for much, but it's like at least it's like, hey man, I didn't mean to hurt you. Apparently that happened.
I didn't see that.
That
but
shouldn't be like you
that's-
shouldn't. Oh,
that's
you
cool.
apologized. Let's take away a game.
No, but that's respect for like someone else
Yeah.
working the same job you're working. That's respect as a professional.
no, that's
I
what I'm
like
kind of
that.
saying too.
I
That
like
hit
that.
was more heat of the moment than like the guy looking to take his head off.
Has he been suspended before? That might be.
He might not have,
I don't know.
I don't know.
but I like the apology.
Yeah.
And you never see that.
I'm
You
with-
never see that in the NHL.
I'm with you, Mark. Like I was like 2 games. Like I would have been shocked if it was even 1. But I'm like, okay, if they're seriously trying to crack down now.
I thought
Then yes, that's a good precedence to start at.
but Ian, with you, I'm like
President, whatever.
president.
President.
That's a president.
El
There's
Presidente.
too many syllables.
precedent.
Uh,
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get 1.
Mhm.
I didn't think he was gonna get 2. But
Yeah,
I'm okay
that's
with
what
2.
I was like. 1 at the
We
most.
talked about it at the bar.
Yeah.
Where you're like, yeah, he'll get a fine probably. I'm like, I hope he gets 1.
yeah, 1 at the most.
That's what
2 was
I
like-
said.
was like,
and a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Well,
That's
whatever.
a paddling. Oh, yeah, how about a Vegas? That 4-0 win. All the guys scored. All the Leafs scored that were supposed to score goals. The Vegas doesn't look.
Oh, was
like
it? Is that
Vegas.
the game I messed up with the Detroit game then? All
no,
the
no.
guys scored goals.
Oh, that maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I better
yeah,
fact
you
check
did.
myself.
I was going to say the
before I
boys
fuck that
scored
up.
on a Monday or
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Now, Mark, you pointed this out. The Vegas Golden Knights didn't look like the Vegas Golden Knights very
They
much.
don't have anybody in their lineup.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Marner's. Matthews got 2, and Nylander got
The
1.
only time they were doing stuff is when Pietrangelo or Theodore were like out there.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Oh yeah, okay. Against Detroit, it was Muzzin, Bunting,
Oh, yes.
Kerfoot, Tavares, and Marner. But like Marner got his first one, Tavares scored. It's good seeing that.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
back to what we were talking about.
I don't know what we were talking about.
I don't know.
We were just talking about the Leafs in general.
I just had to correct myself.
Okay, fair. Are the Leafs secretly on a 4-game win streak? I thought they were bad. Remember all the news that they were bad? Remember the Leafs were bad?
Their wins haven't looked pretty besides...
Vegas was convincing.
It was pretty, but you faced a Vegas team that's crippled, and you should have beat them the same way you should have beat Pittsburgh, or
And-
you lost to Pittsburgh.
And beat
Yeah, but-
Chicago the way Chicago deserved to lose that game. It was so. The
Yeah,
irony was
that's what
all
I
the
mean.
news came out.
It's like
on-
how
the Leafs were in
didn't-
Chicago when that
how
happened.
didn't you play as good as you did against Vegas that you did like against Chicago and Pittsburgh when none of those teams had their guys playing?
Yeah, but it was an OT win against Chicago. Fuck it.
I don't care, but you slapped Vegas. But how didn't you show up for the game against Chicago and
Pittsburgh.
And even the Ranger. No, San
But
Jose.
those are just two
The ones we were
specific
at,
ones.
yeah,
But
San Jose,
that
yeah.
game was still whatever.
Yeah.
San Jose's playing pretty good this year.
They're playing
Right now.
They're doing okay.
Yeah. But those two games specifically, it's just like
What team? are we
those
gonna
should be
get?
W's. So like I feel like the Leafs need to make up 2 W's somewhere in their schedule.
Was one of them against Tampa Bay when they basically pulled 2 points out of thin air with 40 seconds left?
Yes, but Tampa still got a point.
Yeah.
So you can call it a game and a half.
Okay. Or you half a game, you mean?
Yeah.
Or you?
Yeah, half a game.
It's a half a game to get back. They still owe the fans. They owe the standings. They own their point. They
Yeah, they
owe
still
their
owe
point
3
total.
points
I
because
understand, 3 points.
they didn't get 2 to Tampa.
How much time was left when Tavares tied that game?
49 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it was under a minute.
And then what did they do in the OT?
That Nylander shot.
Scored a power play goal.
Of all the saves Vass made that game, I think you should have saved that Tavares too.
Yeah.
The Tavares goal,
Yeah.
pretty point blank, but I don't disagree. If you're listen,
Yeah, he made better saves in that game.
sure. Yeah, let's put it there.
I don't think it beat him like far enough. I was like, it was too like almost square to him.
So you're saying the NHL's rigged?
No. Just Vass made a
Reaching
mistake.
on that one, but I like it. I like it. That's a big reach, but I love it. I'm here for the reaches. Do you guys want to talk about a couple other things Leafs related?
Like what?
Rielly signs
That's a good. I
Contract.
can't believe he signed for that price.
7.5. That's cheap.
bargain.
That
Too
yeah.
bad Kyle Dubas is a terrible general manager.
Brutal.
I know,
Can't
right?
sign players ever.
Worst.
But they're gonna have to get rid of something.
I'd like to thank Tessa Virtue for making him stay home.
Well, now he's
Yeah.
got to wife that.
Yeah, so 8 years. No one else could have offered him 8 years. Only the team that he would be currently on. 8-year contract.
Yeah,
7.5 mil average annual value.
No movement.
Oh wait, who signed like literally a couple days after
Fox?
that for 9.5?
Was it Fox?
Fox. He's done it one fucking year.
Yeah,
and
you
it was
got a Norris.
shortened-
Do something else, bro.
No, yeah, but like he got a Norris in a shortened season. I don't give a shit, and I don't think he deserved the Norris.
Shots fired. Ian, I love when
He's
you
not.
are
He's not that good of a
aggressive
defenseman
like this.
defensively. Like he's good offensively, but he's not a good defensive. He's great at skating. He moves the puck well, but he's not a good defensive defenseman. I'm not saying Riley's a great defensive defenseman, but as winning a Norris Trophy, you need to be a defenseman. You can't just go, "Oh, I got
Rover.
80 points this season."
Yeah, you can't be a
might
rover,
have
I
sucked
understand.
playing actual defense, but I got 80 points.
He also doesn't score a lot.
Who? Fox?
Yeah, like goals.
No, not a lot of defensemen score a lot, unless except for Roman
yeah,
Yossi.
Provorov over here.
Fucking Yossi.
Roman Yossi.
Yeah, Provorov scored
Carl.
a shitload.
That's why I pointed at you. I'm like, yeah, Provorov scores. Carlson scores. Hamilton scores.
I just don't
Ekblad
I don't
scores a lot.
understand how
Ekblad's already got 4 or
how they
5
can
goals
give
this year.
9-5 to Fox, especially with where their team is right now.
Ian, it's because they're wealthy.
I don't know.
The
whatever.
Rangers are
go
wealthy.
for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Like he could be a stud. Who knows? He could be the next best thing.
We all agree that Riley deal is insane.
Rielly, this makes him a Leaf for
It
life.
blew my
basically.
mind. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all Ian, you're happy with the Rielly contract?
Oh yeah.
That makes four of
I'm
us.
surprised. I'm surprised
Riley's
he got,
also happy with it.
I'm surprised he got
He's
under
fourth.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
that's what the fucking Mitch Marner should have done.
I was just gonna say, how bad?
Could you imagine?
How
Fucking
bad does it?
friendly.
How bad does this make people that took more money look? How? What are the optics on this?
Matthews is worth what he's getting paid.
He scores
Tavares
goals.
Tavares might have been at the time that he signed the contract.
Tavares was a
Free agent is different.
Yeah.
I agree. Free
Okay.
agent is
You
a
have to
different
and
pay
thing.
Nylander's
2 mil.
looks really good right now too.
Nylander's a steal.
But Marner's is just so trash.
I'm trying to be as take a step back.
What
as
does
much as
Rantanen and
possible.
Point get paid? Around 8.5, maybe 9. That's what he should be around.
Not 11.
Not 11.
He's a really good player, guys.
He is great, but not 11.
He kills penalties. He kills penalties. He's on the power play. He's electric offensively.
What's what was
Just
that?
like Zach Hyman.
Wait. Kills penalties, and what was that other thing you said?
power play?
Yeah, what's that? What's that do?
I don't. I can't.
Oh,
Remember.
kills time off the clock. Got it.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
remember.
2 minutes of
Yeah.
2 minutes off the clock for the Leafs. remember the guy we had last year?
Oh, Zach Hyman.
Scored shorthanded goals.
What's a power play?
Scored 5-on-5 goals.
But seriously, Hyman,
fucking lighting it up with
Marner's
McDavid
amazing,
right
but
now. Going back to McDavid, did that goal?
and would $2 million actually save you that much right now?
Yes.
3 million. Okay, put it this
3
way.
would.
If you were to sign for 8.5, let's just pick a number. That's 3 million. 3 million less. You move Hall. There's rumors Hall's being moved. That's a $5 million player you have room for. Who could you sign for $5 million? A defenseman,
defenseman.
That's a Jake
Brody.
Muzzin.
Like Brody, like Muzzin.
I just chatted my teeth. That's me making the shruggy,
So,
teeth chattering
Hey,
face.
if they have
I don't
to
know.
get rid of one of the top 4, who's going?
Top 4 what? Forwards?
Forwards.
Well, I think you know who I would listen. Again, I love them all. They're incredible hockey players, but you have to allocate the pie accordingly. The pie being the salary cap. The problem isn't the amount of money they're getting paid. The problem is the proportion of the salary cap that's being allocated to the forward position relative
To the top
others.
4 of the forward position.
Yeah.
It's not even to the top 6 or the
Listen,
top 9.
If Dupis makes this work for the next couple of years before the cap goes up, he is a wizard.
Oh,
Hogwarts!
keeps those 4
And
My pick's
Riley
totally
and
different
Muzzin
than
and
yours
Brody.
then, man.
What's that?
My pick to be gone is totally different than your guys's. Then
Who would you?
I think
Muzzin?
JT's gone.
Oh, I didn't say Marner. I just said who would you take?
That would be pick number 2, Mark. The only difference is they gave him the C and he was a free agent signing.
A lot of captains have been traded.
Name one.
Marty St. Louis.
I just uh-uh'd you, so I was right.
Who else? Zach. There's so many.
trolling and it's fun.
No. I just
Brad Richards,
and I think
That was a free agent, but whatever.
I gotta do it with I had a we weren't arguing I was talking about it in one of my group chats. The salary doesn't fit on the Leafs anymore because I don't think anybody's gonna take Marner's. Matthews is your first line center.
Matthews is your guy.
You just signed Rielly.
Yeah.
Nylander contract is a steal.
It's not a steal, but it's a good contract.
It's a good
It's a
contract.
steal.
I wouldn't call
And
it
No, it's not a
JT's
steal.
got 2 years left after this year, and I think it's your best bargain for the buck right now. Where you can move it if you get a legit second line center on that Leafs team
the
that
problem
is defensively good.
the problem is
that
they don't
opens
have
up another $4 million cap space. Add
Mark,
a $5 million.
I have thought about this too.
The problem's having to sign Jack Campbell next year too.
Oh, Ian, we'll get there.
I know it
get
opens
there.
up space to do a lot of those things.
The JT
Rielly is going to be basically paid for because Kessel's off our salary next year.
thing, 1.5.
And Riley's gonna off his thing. So Riley's basically paying for himself with this contract.
It's basically what Mark is saying is that the Kessel buyout or Kessel trade retention
Oh,
plus Riley's salary currently is about what Rielly is going to make.
so they should be fine for next year, is what you're saying.
It's the year after it might be, or no, next year. No. Yeah, Kessel's off the books next year.
this year.
He's on the books this year. It's next year.
Yeah. That's when Rielly's contract kicks in.
So next year, when Rielly's contract kicks in, is kind of Rielly's contract now plus the Kessel buyout.
As much as I love Muzzin, he's not looked that good this year.
I've heard.
No, he's looked really slow.
I've heard. I mean, groin injury might still be bugging him.
Then fucking take time off.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Ian.
glad.
Start of the
Don't
season.
yell at me.
I'm glad
yell
you
at
also
Jake
thought about
Muzzin.
Tavares the same way.
Okay, sorry. Back to the.
I was honestly thinking Tavares as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
So it's
eh?
hold on, hang on.
Well,
hang on,
I'd
hang on.
keep the young guys.
You
That
got to
too.
keep. You got to keep
future.
Rielly. You got to keep Nylander with the contract, and you got to keep your
Matthews.
star center because you're fucking stupid if you,
You
don't.
can't trade Marner's contract.
The problem with trading JT is, and I've thought about this, is where are you going to get that? If you trade him away, you have to get a center in return or in an adjacent deal or signing because the Leafs are actually not strong up the middle.
No, that's an off-season thing.
Yeah,
I
it wouldn't,
think
it wouldn't be.
JT
You're not going to
I think-
do that this year.
I think JT has 2 more years after this season, 2 or 3.
Not to change topics too much, but I'm just surprised that Jack Eichel deal got done mid-season because I'm like, what? Like,
'cause
NHL
he's not
GM's
playing.
doing things?
because he's not playing.
Same with Tuck.
Yeah.
You're right. I just was, when I heard the deal come through, I was like, the NHL GMs did their job for a change. So, Mark, you would pick, if you had to trade one of the 4,
It's
in a
Tavares.
hypothetical situation,
To me, it's Tavares, and
does he have
like
no move?
I don't know what he has.
Probably.
So I bet he does. Can you look up Cap Friendly real quick?
And I feel like Marner probably has no move as well.
Likely. Ian, who? So I think
I don't know. I wouldn't want to trade any of them.
if you can make it work, man, the talent's there. Like,
Can we get rid of Richie?
I hope so.
he's only signed for.
Whatever he's got, it's worth it. Get rid of it.
He's only signed for like 1.75.
Yeah,
or
he's
something.
got a no movement.
Yeah, but you can get
That's
rid of
JT,
that
Mark?
one.
Yeah,
And what about Marner?
he doesn't have one.
No,
No.
not.
Wayne Simmons is the only other one with a no trade.
That's correct. Yeah.
And Spezza will just quit.
And Rielly's, I believe, has some sort of no movement.
Rielly has no movement once it
Once it
and
kicks
Muzzin
in.
has a no trade. TJ Brody has a no trade.
Oh, nice.
Justin Hull has a modified no trade.
Does that mean certain teams he'll
Yeah,
go to?
yeah. Like, that's the thing. It's just, in order to keep the price down a touch, it's just like, okay, give us like a list of 6 teams you don't want to go to, and it's just like that's easy to do because you just don't talk to those 6 teams. There's 32 other teams. These no
Yeah, so,
trade.
okay, we can throw Tavares off the books.
But I mean, listen, if you go to John Tavares and say, "Hey, man, listen," and this is hypothetical. I'm going down Mark's sort of rabbit hole here.
Mark hates hypothetical.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. I think they're able to make it work, but you just have to. These guys like Andre Kasha and Richie, the next iteration, next year's version of those guys just got to take a little bit less, or they move Dermott or Hall, which is something that's being talked about right now.
I'd be okay with both. Hopefully Dermott.
Dermott's playing. I think Dermott's being showcased on the top pair with Rielly right now.
It's fine.
He hasn't looked bad. He was a guy for the first bunch of games. The puck stopped at Dermott. He either dumped the puck in or shot it on net. He didn't keep the play going via pass or via cycle to somebody. The puck really stopped at Travis Dermott, and I've seen a few plays over the past few games where he's getting better at that. Whether he's getting more comfortable or
stopping the puck at him.
not stopping the puck. So he's maybe his D partner. He's more comfortable with Rielly than he was.
With Sandine?
Maybe.
They're the same player.
I'm asking questions, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's more minutes, and if you play more minutes, you're more comfortable. Maybe the different role is, hey, instead of firing the puck down the ice because you're on with the 3rd or 4th line, maybe you're keeping the possession because you're with the 1st or 2nd line usually. Maybe. But Dermott was one of those guys where
More confident passing to whoever is out there as well.
I don't know if Greg just
Perhaps.
brought it up. Can we go back to Leafs like contracts? I like how they're kind of set up that like once they all expire, that's after when presumably the cap is going to boom.
I think that's sort of by accident because some of them are signed before that, but I like that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, it was just before COVID that we didn't know that the cap was going to.
Because
It was because of COVID. The cap.
The timing.
Besides
couldn't have been worse.
Besides
Could not have
Rielly,
been.
the longest contract on the Leafs is 4 years.
Yeah. And whose is it?
Matthews. No, not Matt. Is it Matt?
It's probably Marner.
4 more years.
Yeah,
It's probably Marner.
it's just 4 years.
But yeah. And if you look at the San Jose Sharks,
So going into next year, it'll be 3.
yeah. Which means those kids are getting older. But
They're
they're
still
not
kids.
tied down as bad as a lot of other teams could be. You know who's also 4 more years? Alex Tuck. At 4.75.
Half of what? Yeah, but Tuck's a winger too. What's Krebs? Is he a center? I don't even remember.
I don't know. That's a great question, Ian. If we were a good podcast, we'd find out.
Yeah,
But
well,
let's sit here with our hands in our pockets.
My hands are cold, so I got my hands in my pocket.
The heater's nice and warm though.
Yeah, but that doesn't get to my hands.
Just put them in the air and wave them like you don't care.
Ian, you brought up the Jack Campbell contract, which, because the Leafs signed Morgan Rielly, the Toronto media has to talk about another contract because they have to talk
Argue
about
about
another
something.
contract narrative.
Something's happened. We got to do something else. We
But
need
what
something
about
else.
Riley? Okay, Dubas is like, yo, solve that. And this is happy, right? You guys happy? It's like, yeah. But what about Jack Campbell? He signs Jack Campbell to literally a pack of Skittles a day, probably. Like, just, I'm hypothetical. But what about the next guy?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what he does. It's always going to be, but what about?
And then if they
this?
solve everything, it's going to be, what about 4 years from now?
But what about?
Yeah, that sounds like Toronto media.
And then if they're doing, how are they going to repeat again?
There's literally hours on TV that are
I know.
dedicated to straight Leafs hockey.
Leafs
It's so
contract.
annoying.
Every fucking day.
It's so
Multiple
annoying.
Every
channels.
day.
Multiple
It's
channels.
so annoying.
We're perpetuating it. We're the problem. Because we consume that nonsense. I don't really want to. Do you guys want to
Stretch?
talk about the Jack Campbell contract? There's nothing to talk about other than I hope he signs. He's a great person.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about his contract.
So you're happy with saying the same thing I said?
Yeah.
I hope he signs. He's a great person. He's stopping pucks really well. Let's talk about his play
Dude,
for a
you
minute.
remember talking about eating like pack of Skittles?
Yeah.
I devoured one and I think I just put the whole pack in my mouth. at
Wow,
work.
Mark, save some for the rest of us. Fuck.
Oh man, it was
What pack were they?
berry. The
The
purple one.
one? Ooh. Yo, okay, so I got a pack of the blue, the light blue. I got it from my gas station swipe card or whatever. And I drove Andrew, my brother, out to Trenton. I had to drive him out to Trenton. On the way back, was just eating Skittles the whole way back.
Just keep you awake.
And I didn't, it was 10 o'clock at night, and I didn't know, I couldn't remember what the flavors were. Because I just grabbed
But they just tasted so good.
I was like, yo, I haven't had Skittles in a while. And the last ones I had probably were a couple Halloweens ago, and they were the red pack. So just the
That's
standard
original.
original. So I didn't remember what the flavors were for the tropical. I think blue's tropical, like the light blue. It was a wild ride home in the Skittles. We were talking about Skittles. Ian, when's the last time you had Skittles? Didn't your dad bring home Skittles for Halloween? Aren't they?
Well, yeah, because
Wrigley's.
Mars
Mars
owned
Wrigley's.
Mars owned Wrigley's, right?
Yeah.
So that was like Skittles, Starburst.
You know what Ian's dad brought home? Remember? Okay, I don't remember if people know this. I don't know if you can buy them in store anymore, but those ones that are coated in sugar.
Oh yeah,
The sour
The
ones.
sour
oh,
ones.
the
Yeah, those
light
were
green
good.
ones.
Yeah, they're light colors.
I remember
Yeah, the
you
sour Skittles
came
are
over
my
to my
favorite.
house and you just looked at the table and your eyes just popped. You're like, where did
The
you
lime
get all
green,
this
the
from?
green one.
Yeah.
The sour apple.
I'm pretty sure I
and the
gave you guys a
sour
bunch of
Skittles
them.
is my favorite
'Cause
Skittle.
I had too many and I'm like, I'm not eating them all.
No, but also that was the first time they were coming out.
I think
they
it
were
might have
coming
been an
out-
American only thing, actually.
But were you allowed to give them out in Canada?
Well, not allowed to sell them, but
That's
my dad
Halloween
got
candy.
them.
Because I remember being at Ian's house a couple times, and he's like, you can't take the package out of the house because this stuff hasn't on sale yet or anything.
Yeah, no, but it could it might not be on sale. I think it might have just been it's an American only product. So
okay.
it's not in Canada.
Canada.
Or it could have been a pre-release too.
I just remember
I don't remember. That was 10 years ago.
the first time having those
More than that.
sour Skittles was.
They were the best.
Ian's.
They're my favorite sour Skittles.
Can you buy them?
Yeah.
I don't
Same green package.
Is it?
Lime green.
about it. Interesting.
No, well, let's take a 7th inning and go buy some.
I've got a public service announcement about leaf blowers. If you're using a leaf blower, you're making it someone else's problem. So leaf blowers are fine if you're getting rid of just a little bit of yard waste. Maybe touching up your sidewalk because you cut the lawn, you mowed the lawn. But it's autumn, and if you're blowing leaves all over the place,
You're literally doing nothing.
the wind does that for you.
You're being less efficient than Mother Nature.
Mark, what's more efficient, a leaf blower or a rake?
A rake at this time of year.
If you intend on picking up leaves, bagging leaves, it's also kind of funny when you bag leaves, but I digress.
That's what you're supposed to do, though.
I feel like it's already windy usually this time of year. So like when you start like shooting something with a thing going like and going throwing things in a direction. And I feel like a lot of people aren't smart enough to blow in the direction of the wind's going. So a lot of people are probably blowing in like into the wind, so it's literally going nowhere.
Oh, I've seen this happen so many times walking my dog where people
I
blow
find
the
it
leaves.
hilarious.
They come
it happen
onto
at
their
work.
lawn like right away, immediately after.
Last year at the golf course, one of the kids was blowing leaves out of a bunker because we don't want the leaves in the bunker. He's blowing them straight into the
couldn't
wind, and the wind was blowing it
He
back.
couldn't rake the leaves into the bunker into a corner and just like
No,
throw
because
them.
this bunker's massive. I would never hand rake this bunker.
Okay.
Also, though, like I bet that kid's the same kid that would pee into the wind.
Probably.
Same concept.
Why is it on my leg?
I think we'll just leave it at that, guys. Leaf blowers, use them wisely, or just use a rake.
Just use a rake. Like, do a little bit of labor, get yourself in shape a little bit. Like, maybe break a sweat. Like, you don't need technology to fix everything.
Mark, do you want to talk about the World Series for a minute? World Series?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Freddie Freeman finally got his World Series.
Alex Anthopoulos.
Alex Anthopoulos, too. Too bad he couldn't celebrate with the team.
Did you hear what he was doing instead?
No.
He was at home. He was like nervous.
I was asleep. Like, I fell asleep.
I heard that. So he was on Tim and Friends. Ironically, it was Tim and Friends, and Sid Seixeira was on Tim and Friends with Ken Reed. And I saw the interview with them talking to Alex Anthopoulos, and Alex is like, yeah, so they went up 5-0 in the game, and he's like, he was nervous. He's like, I was just channel surfing. I watched the Leaf game for a bit. He's like, the Leafs were playing Vegas. They were winning. He was like, I watched the Canadians for a bit. I guess
He was too nervous to just keep it on the channel.
yeah. He's like, I watched the Leaf game instead of watching my own Atlanta Braves for a little. He's like, like whatever. He's got the Sportsnet package down there, and whatever.
He's probably got multiple screens too.
So yeah, it's like that's so funny. Because imagine not being in the stadium though. Imagine being the architect and not being in the stadium.
But he had COVID?
Protocol something or
Oh,
other.
okay.
Yeah, he had to stay home.
Also, how about the Braves winning without Acuna?
And their best pitcher. Two best pitchers, essentially.
Who's that?
Charlie Morton broke his leg in the...
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So
the comeback.
So what
He
game
started-
was that? What game was that?
I think it was game two.
Two?
He got
Yeah.
hit with the line drive.
Yeah.
Still finished the inning with his leg broken.
Went out the next inning.
Went out the next inning, struck at Altuve, and was like, no, I can't do this anymore.
and his leg is broken.
Yeah, and Mike Soroka, a Canadian pitcher. He didn't pitch
Right.
at all last year. Tore Achilles. He fucked up his Achilles again start this year, so completely missed the season again.
Young kid, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good, very damn good pitcher.
Kind of reminds me, like, good teams can win without their best players because they're a good team.
Oh, yeah. Anthopoulos did a good job getting, like, the guys at the deadline. They got Solor, I think Rielly.
Yeah. Four guys in their
Jock
batting
Pedersen.
order. 4 guys, 4 position players.
Yeah, he reamped the outfield.
Yes. Well, they had to. Their centerpiece, their cornerstone is injured.
Cool, yeah.
But it does remind you of the LA Dodgers winning without Price. And the Tampa Bay Lightning. Remember they won without Stamkos?
Well,
Yeah.
he scored a goal.
He scored
He scored the biggest goal in that fucking series.
That was an unreal goal too.
He literally played 30 seconds or whatever, like not very much.
Yeah, it was
in
like,
the whole thing.
played like 2 shifts or something.
But good teams win. Like, you know how you hear in sports that cliche is, oh, you can't replace him. Well, you can.
Yeah,
Because
remember
if-
the year
if you're a
Pittsburgh
good
won the
team.
cup without Letang?
Mark, another extremely good example.
And that was the year Matt Murray won because Fleury got hurt.
another
I
extremely
hate that
good
I'm
example.
fucking boosting Pittsburgh. But,
Mark, but
I know it's
it
a good
happened.
example,
But
but yeah, it happened.
it was a thing. Yeah. Good teams can overcome that stuff. Okay, back to the World Series. Sorry.
Kessel should have won the. Kessel was like Conn Smythe that year too.
Kessel won all of our hearts, which is more valuable than any stupid
Kessel won
trophy.
my heart before he went to Pittsburgh.
I still have a framed picture of Phil Kessel in my basement.
Phil the Phil.
It's one of those small ones that you put on your nightstand.
You give it a kiss before you go to bed.
Oh, it's down. It's in the basement just in front of the TV. Just
Crazy.
I had
He lights a candle for like 20 minutes.
I put a hot dog beside it.
If I ever have hot dogs, I bring up Kessel and eat with him.
Oh, fuck. Next time we barbecue hot dogs. Next time. I should take it to the cottage and put it like
Just
next
take
to
a selfie with a hot dog.
Oh my god. I love it. Sorry, Mark, did you have more to say about the Braves, etc.? Like, okay, what did you think? So the Brave, you knew it was going to be a good series for the Braves because first batter of game 1
It's a home run.
ding dong.
Like, I just had the feeling since I said I'm going to pick the Braves to win
When did you pick the Braves to win, Mark?
the start of the year.
How much money did you win, Mark?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, really? That's a lot of Skittles.
Yeah.
Kid, just buy Ian and I some Skittles and just be like, hey, this is for
Yeah, we'll go to Amigos next time. I'll buy a round.
a round of Skittles. Go to the convenience store next door. Be like, listen, we're bringing Skittles. We're having Skittles and beers.
I don't want Skittles and beers. That would be a terrible combo.
Have you ever tried it?
No,
No, then yeah. Listen, don't knock until you try it.
I don't think that would be good.
I think I caught most of every game in the series. And you know what? They were always, even if the games weren't really close,
They're good games.
it's like it's kind
Every
of much
team had the
must watch.
chance to like get each other back. Like team would go up 3 runs. Like Houston would get guys on base the next couple innings, couldn't do anything. Even when the Braves were down, they fight back and shit like that.
Well, what was it? Game 2, Braves were up and Houston won the game like 9-5 or something.
Yeah.
That was a big game. Because like if Braves go up that early in the series,
Yeah, that would
It's
that was,
bad.
that would have been
Braves
two
should
zip
have
on the
swept
road.
them.
yeah, exactly. But like it's good that Houston got some games out of them, right? Game 6 took.
Yep.
Oh, it's good baseball. The whole World Series was good baseball.
All the
Playoffs, yeah.
playoffs was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. You know what?
I say this every year, man. Baseball playoffs are just as exciting as hockey playoffs, in my opinion.
I can't say the same thing, but
the thing with
it was exciting.
The thing with the playoffs I found this year was when you turned it on, almost every time there was something interesting happening. Very rarely did you turn on or watch a game and it was a blowout.
Yeah, there was nothing like anticlimactic in it.
you know what I found weird? And I think it was the last 2 series. It was not a lot of starting pitchers went a distance. They were using a lot of bullpen pitching
Yeah,
on every team.
depth. I like that though, and I'll tell you why. And this is, I don't want to bring up an old argument that we had, but that's why I like the 7-game series. The whole thesis of baseball is you play 162 games. It's a marathon. So the playoffs should replicate that to some degree. And it should be using your whole team.
Yeah.
All the players that you used in the regular season. You shouldn't just shorten your starting rotation because it's the playoffs. If you have to, sure. But I mean, you should have to use all 5 starting pitchers that you used.
You have to use what got you there.
Yeah.
But
No,
then,
I agree. I
Then
like
you
that.
use it in a different way in the playoffs because it's playoffs.
Yeah, if you want to use, say you want to use 2 starting pitchers, say you want to, okay, listen, we got to put back to back. We'll have one guy go 4.5 or twice through the order, and then we'll have another starting pitcher come in just maybe because maybe you have 6 starting pitchers, however it works out.
Whatever works.
Or you have bullpen days. But to me, that's why the early series, like the best 3 of 5, I understand wild card. It's like you're tied, figure it out. But the best 3 of 5, it's like it deviates from the baseball thesis of the 162 game marathon. And I don't know how we started talking about this, but that's just sort of what came to mind. Like like Ian said, it's using all your pitchers, using all the players that you have available to you.
Yep.
No, that's why I like the baseball playoffs so much, because you literally have to
use every player. Like you
What's
got
the
you
old
have your
saying,
pitch
like,
hitters and shit like that
because
going in.
baseball doesn't end with a horn. You gotta like, pitch till the fat like the
Oh, yeah.
cliche is the
There's
fat
no-
lady sings.
There's no 27 outs.
Yeah.
20. There's no time. As long as it takes. to
And
get
there was a
27
lot of
outs.
games in the playoffs this year where you were at late in the game and tides turned in a lot of them. I loved it.
Mark, I'm glad you enjoyed, and I'm glad you made a ton of Skittles money.
Yeah, too bad it's already going to
Skittles.
things.
Skittles.
Yeah, trailer fees, my massive 407 bill.
Maybe you shouldn't take the 407 so much.
Yeah, well,
It's
maybe
like,
I
what's your
shouldn't
time
wait
worth to you?
Maybe I shouldn't wait like a year to pay it off.
Why don't you just
Auto.
Fuck the 407.
Well, you take it though.
Yeah,
The 407 is a toll route in Toronto. It's way faster than it's the fastest highway. It's the best conditioned highway, but it's also a toll route.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not
And it's not cheap.
unaware.
It's not cheap.
I don't take it because I don't go that far. Mark goes
it's
far.
not cheap.
It's the most effective way
Like
to go
if you took it
east-west.
both ways in a day, it's like almost $50.
Really?
Yeah.
It's more than that.
What?
Oh, if you're going all the way to Brampton, yeah.
Hope they reimburse you a little bit. Do they?
Yeah,
A little?
yeah, you can
Can you write
figure
it
your
off?
taxes out.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
Can you write it off for taxes?
There's ways to fit it in.
Mark doesn't want to incriminate himself.
Get a good accountant.
Ah, yes. Excellent. Boys, do you want to just walk through the standings here? Just the last thing we do. There's nothing really else on my list. We talked about Kachuk. We talked about
Yeah, congrats
the Eichel
to
thing.
Freddie for killing it with the Hurricanes right now.
Freddie Anderson is doing really well with the Mark. Can I correct you? The undefeated Carolina Hurricanes,
Yeah.
leading the Metropolitan Division with 18 points in 9 games. That's 2 points a game. Good enough for first place in the Metropolitan Division.
I like that the Sabres didn't start off as a dumpster fire with
That
all the
was
Eichel
nice.
stuff too.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
As long as they don't beat the Leafs.
Hey, you know who the first place team in the league is?
Is it the Florida Panthers?
It's the Florida Panthers.
So I just want to point out that I was the only one that did not pick the Florida Panthers to make the playoffs in our way too early playoff predictions. I
regret
stand
that one?
by that decision because I'm stubborn and arrogant, and I will not be afraid to admit.
I think it's at this point of the year that the score will tell you to trade Jonathan Huberdeau as well.
Your annual.
He's got 12 points in 10 games. You better trade him right
Your
now.
annual-
Did you see
fantasy
who got
update?
dropped in our keeper league?
No.
Who?
Not that anyone cares about our keeper
Sam
league.
Bennett.
Oh, well, he's not doing that good.
I want.
He's got 7 points in 8 games. That's not that good.
Should I use my waiver thing to pick him up?
Maybe. The one thing I want to talk about with Florida,
Sure.
who's the guy that we said that needs to perform?
Bobrovsky.
Who's the guy that's performing?
He's hurt right now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's day to day.
With what?
He's got 6 wins. He's got a 171 goals against average, and he's got a 948.
And how
Upper
many?
body injury.
And how many? Oh, upper body's not as bad as lower body. Lower body for a goalie's bad. Upper body not so much.
Yeah. well,
Any details on the upper body?
that could
injury?
be a head.
I don't know. I haven't seen the Florida Panthers play recently
He left Thursday's game.
with an upper body injury.
Yeah. And he's out tonight.
God damn it. Who are they playing tonight?
Before that, Ian was right. He's fucking killing it.
Well, he still is. Like, just because he's injured.
Well,
doesn't
his
mean he's
numbers
not.
are still really good.
Where did we have him on our rankings, boys? We all had him on our list.
We had him low.
But rightfully so.
That's just
But we
based
had him on our list.
recently.
Ian and Mark both had him at 23. I, being the person who hates the Florida Panthers, I hate the Florida Panthers now, remember? I just
Okay.
made that up, but I don't have them in the playoffs, and I had Bobrovsky below you guys at 24.
Oh, big deal.
He's 91% rostered right
I'm
now.
pretty sure we talked about not fucking sleeping on him though.
I don't remember our
he
comments.
He could be a top 10 goalie easily.
He's done it before, just not on Florida.
He's
and
ranked 6
Yeah.
Over-
in our
Overall.
league. In our league.
Is he the,
Our,
he's
we're
a
a bang-
top-ranked goaltender.
The league we run is a banger league. He's ranked, yeah.
I think I checked right before I came out in the public stats, and it's only Frederick Anderson goaltending-wise that's ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our goaltending rankings are. I mean,
I had Freddie high. I think.
You did. Mark did not.
I think I had him at like 7.
6. I think I looked this up. 6. Mark was 16, and I was right in the middle.
You know who else I had pretty high?
Flipped right to our page.
Jordan Binnington.
How's he doing?
He's pretty good. He's got 5 wins. It's 2.4 goals against average and a 9.29.
Don't worry, Vass owners.
I mean, he'll do well eventually.
What are Vass's stats? Vass is still solid. They're just not fast stats.
End of the year, right? Looking at the end of the year, look long term. But hey, Ian, do you sell high on Bobrovsky?
No.
Because
I
hold.
It's HODL. It's about hold.
Yeah, I would definitely still hold.
How about Anderson? Do you sell high on Anderson?
Dutch.
No.
I don't.
No. Because Carolina.
Mark's not saying no.
I don't think Carolina. I think Carolina's riding a high, and they're gonna crash once they figure out how not to run their power play without Dougie Hamilton.
Oh, Mark, I appreciate this spicy take. It's delicious.
Not crash, but like I'd sell Anderson high if you're getting
something better
in return that you think is better than your return. Like I would sell Anderson to somebody who's high on him, and that you're high on somebody else. That you were higher on Anderson pre-draft,
like a Varlamov.
Potentially,
not straight up.
But you would get more with you would get a Varlamov plus if you traded Anderson for Varlamov.
Anderson, I don't. Varlamov hasn't played yet.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'll tell you that for free because drafting him over here has done nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks
Much. If you would get thing plus for Anderson, you would get plus what you thought you drafted Anderson for trading for him now to get something in return that you think you need. Because chances are, if you have Anderson, he wasn't your first goalie.
Ooh, I don't know about that. If he was low. He was like a late first. Yeah.
I would prefer to have Varlamov over Fleury.
Why?
Because Fleury's
plays for the
shit.
Islanders.
And Fleury started like 8 games and he has like a 6 goals against average or something.
Lankinen looked really good against Toronto.
Yeah, and
I
that's
haven't
the
watched
problem.
Chicago.
Yeah,
except
you make
that game.
saves, but if you're still going to give up 3-4 goals a game.
I'm not saying from a fantasy hockey perspective to pick him up. I'm just saying, hey, he made saves.
He's like, he's a good goalie.
From a goaltending perspective, and like he moved well, the puck stuck to him. I don't blame him on the goals, really. I don't think. I can't picture them.
Fleury coming off winning a Vezina trophy too, right? He's got a 411 goals against average and an 881 save percentage.
That's fine. Listen, Carter Hart had a bad year last year, and he's been doing
also
all right.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah. Patrick Kane's got 11 points in 8 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Unreal.
Okay, so
are we going
do we still? It's very early still.
Yeah.
Look at the standings. This is really high level. I know a lot of people appreciate us getting granular and talking about teams individually, but a little bit higher level. Looking at the standings, do you still think both wildcard teams from the East are coming from the Metro?
Maybe one from each.
Or do you think the Florida Panthers? Like my ultimate question is the Florida Panthers. They are 20% the way to locking up a playoff spot. They have like, 18 points?
19
points. They're 20% the way there. If you have 100 points, 95 points, you're in the playoffs. That's basically, right? They're 20% there. They've played 10 games. They have to literally suck
and
to not make the playoffs.
They probably will go on a couple. Like if Bob is injured and like is Spencer Knight going to be able to hold on to it? Well, with Bob out, he's not going to play every game because
they lost Drager.
Yeah, but they're going to have back-to-back games where Spencer Knight can't play, and if Bob's not there, then they're going to be playing a rookie. And Spencer Knight's already a rookie, so you got 2 rookie goaltenders. I like Florida though. Florida's a good team. They seem really well put together.
They've kept their composure, that's for sure.
No, I just mean like that their players are good.
I just meant emotionally. So my question is, between the Toronto Maple Leafs, Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Boston Bruins, who is in the most trouble with the Florida Panthers being as good as they are?
I think the Maple Leafs.
It's probably Boston.
Boston's-
Unless Rask comes back.
Boston's only played.
I don't
8
even
games.
think Boston is because I think Leafs are the only
Leafs play
outlier.
Boston tonight, right?
I
Yeah,
guess
we'll
what
see
happens.
after tonight.
Yeah, we'll
true.
definitely see after.
That's
tonight.
what I also wanted to say. I was like, I feel like this question is better for like a Sunday podcast than a Saturday podcast
I know.
because it's Leafs versus Bruins tonight.
Hey, listen, good measuring stick against Tampa. And I know Tampa, we didn't play as well as we could have. Well, the Leafs beat you, and good teams win games like that. That's what I've always
that
said.
was a damn good fucking game though on Thursday.
Agreed.
That was that game was sick.
Who's starting a net for the Bruins?
It's Allmark.
Should I start him?
Do you think you should start him?
I only have one goalie start this week.
Boston just killed
I picked up Grubauer.
Boston just killed Detroit on Thursday, 5-1. Bergeron had fucking 4 goals.
Nice. Okay, the one thing I'll say about Allmark, I'll watch him carefully tonight. This might be a regular day for our podcast if that works for you guys, just because Sunday's a bit of a mess because Ian's working and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. But regardless, I'll watch Allmark tonight.
I like Saturday afternoons.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's just
still.
you don't get the Sunday night hockey drama, and there's usually some shit.
We could do something about like a Saturday night. We can't even.
No,
do,
I got to
like,
go to bed early.
Saturday night prediction.
Yeah.
Or you know what we could start doing? We predict our Saturday night like predictions and
Like a whole pro line thing.
No, but we like at the end of the year, like loser has to buy a case of beer for us.
What's our our like the Leaf prediction? Like we predict the Leafs
Or
score?
every game.
Teams that Canadian team, the teams that
or just
Canada's
predict
playing.
wins, just like pick winning teams.
Yeah, if we're doing it on a Saturday,
Well, we could just go through this quick if you want to. Boston, Toronto, who's winning?
Fuck.
Boston.
I got Toronto.
Oh fuck.
Greg?
Just
I'm
pick
gonna
the
say-
Canada teams.
I'm gonna say
Ottawa already
No.
played.
Well, I got Detroit and Buffalo.
Okay, just go our teams.
Detroit.
plus Toronto.
But like Carolina, Florida. Florida's playing tonight.
I'll say the Leafs because I like pain.
Philly's playing Washington. What do you got, Mark?
Philly. Philly plays Washington.
Martin Jones
really
is
good all the time.
confirmed to start.
Yeah, I know.
Washington, obviously. I don't like whoever. Both that'll be a goaltending nightmare, I think.
And then Vegas is playing Canadians. Both struggling.
Ooh, trade partner history too.
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas better like smarten up.
Winnipeg's playing Islanders.
Islanders.
Are you saying your teams here yet at all?
Oh, what do you want me to say? I got Washington. I got Vegas. I got Winnipeg.
Over who?
Islanders.
I think the Islanders start to turn it around here.
We'll go.
I'll take Islanders.
Then Calgary Rangers.
Rangers are playing back to back.
I'll
They
take
just got
Calgary.
embarrassed by McDavid.
Calgary's-
I'm taking Calgary too.
Yeah, I'll take Calgary.
I'll take Rangers.
And the Rangers are out west.
And then the last one is
Back-to-back.
Tampa, Ottawa.
That game already started.
I mean, I hope Ottawa loses.
Yeah, Tampa already won 5-3.
Okay. All right. Man, I don't know.
Elliott was in net.
I don't know if I can.
So my Grubauer pickup looks a lot better now.
Oh, you got Grubauer starting.
Somebody's got to keep track of that.
Against
That's
Arizona.
hectic. I don't look at the games like going through rapid fire. Oh shoot,
Dude, he's like 90% owned in Yahoo. So like, I was just like, fuck, man. If he's
just 'cause of
if he's facing Arizona and nobody owns him in our league right now, like,
people are stupid and just pick him based on stats from last year. They're like, oh, this guy's
but
good.
all you guys have more than one goalie. I'm the only person who runs one goalie.
I only have one technically. I don't trust Fleury as a second goalie.
But you have
you
like
want one?
Yeah,
But you know what I mean? I just legit have one goalie.
yeah.
Uno. Mark Scott Vasilevsky or bust. Rotate.
Right.
Literally.
Anything else you guys want to say on the standings? I mean, listen, Florida's off to an amazing start. Carolina's off to an amazing start.
Who do you think the leader in the league is in points?
Me.
Draisaitl.
It is Draisaitl.
Oh. And Arizona. I just want to point out that Arizona has not
10
won
and
yet.
1.
Is Arizona okay? Arizona though is cartoon bad. Like they're video game bad. Like they're tanking in NHL.
It's like their logo.
What?
It's almost cartoonish.
Oh, haha. What's it called? What's the
Kachina?
Kachina. I think it's kind of cool. But I mean, it's a cartoon drawing sort of. It's not that we're offending people. We're definitely offending people of that. Who? Yes.
People are being offended of us making fun of a cartoon-looking thing. Then they got more issues on their brain.
Oh my god! Oh god! We're offending so many people. Okay. Also, can we also point out that the Connor McDavid's and Leon Draisaitl's are also 9-1?
Yeah. Are you surprised?
A little.
Zach Hyman has more goals than anyone on the Leafs.
Was that a stat?
No,
is that true?
Fact.
Is that true? Okay, yo, I have a question. Actually,
Not combined.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who will score more goals this year? Zach Hyman or Mitch Marner?
Hyman.
Probably Hyman. Because Marner's going to get a shit ton more
Hyman.
assists.
I think Hyman scored more goals than him than last year.
I know, but guys, think of the question. Think of the question.
The millions of dollars in contracts too.
Zach Hyman or Mitch Marner?
Who would you prefer to have on your team right now?
Is it Hyman?
I
Marner has the undeniable
Can I have
talent
both?
of yeah. Can I have both? I want my cake, and god damn it,
I'd rather
I
have
want
Zach
your
Hyman.
cake as well. You jerk. I don't know. Is there anything else left to say?
No, probably.
I don't know. I didn't write
We'll
anything
talk
else
about
down.
it later.
We'll think about it. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to add to the thing?
No.
All right. That's sick. We're doing a good job. Oh, the game tonight. Allmark. The thing I noticed about Allmark, he moves okay. I can't remember who I saw him play. I saw the highlights of a Bruins game earlier this week. He made a lot of saves that they looked good, but he made them look harder than they had to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Is he athletic? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if he's athletic
goalie?
or if he was like there's a lot of shots that went back across the grain and he made like huge, like exaggerated pad saves, but it's like, I don't know.
It's like he's misreading his angles.
Let's keep an eye out for that thing.
They played Florida.
No, who have they? Who go back a little bit more?
No, because I know what you're saying when I shoot on a goalie and he's like off his angle and there's like
He makes
it's
a save.
open, but he makes a save. It's like is he like selling it to me or is he that bad at positioning himself?
In men's league, Mark, it's the latter. Trust me.
Yeah, I know it's a ladder.
In the NHL, you don't try to make saves look harder than they should be. You're not. That's Derek Jeter. He's playing goal like Derek Jeter. You can play shortstop like Derek Jeter because
The ball comes at you.
the baseball's like that. You can time it differently. Hockey and goaltending is not so much because your reaction time is so much less. And so just keep an eye out for that. Because Allmark's put up okay numbers so far. I got him in fantasy, so I'm going to keep an eye out. But whereas like Jack Campbell, when Jack Campbell's on, and what I love to see,
He's boring.
No, I love watching Jack Campbell.
No,
He
he's
reads the
boring
puck.
in the sense that he's just
No, I think that's Freddie Anderson. I like watching.
No, Jack Campbell makes 6 saves too, but like
No, but Freddie Anderson just is big and
yeah.
Freddie Anderson plays more along the most boring goalie I think was like along the lines of Hendrik Lundqvist, who phenomenal, but just not exciting to watch. Like I couldn't relate to that. Whereas Jack Campbell's active, top of the crease. Forget that he taps his teammates.
Oh, his
like,
2
that's a cute
breakaway
thing.
saves he made were insane against Tampa.
He reads the play so well. And I think back at a few of those shots that he takes point blank. The one Johnny Gaudreau shot last year where Johnny Gaudreau, like he had seen Johnny Gaudreau play a few times in a row, and Johnny Gaudreau, bottom of the circle, but dead center, like 10 feet from the crease. High off the glass, and normally a goalie just goes into butterfly to block that. Campbell read the puck right off the stick, didn't even flinch, just knew the puck was going high, and stood up. So look for the contrast tonight. I know if you're listening to this podcast, the game's probably over, but I'll be looking for the contrast between Is it Campbell starting? I don't know if it's Campbell starting.
I think it's Campbell
I
starting.
think it's Campbell.
I don't think you wouldn't start him after the last 2 starts he's had.
There's even a huge difference between Campbell and Mrazek, the way they play, but both of them contrast to Ullmark, and I just want to see how Ullmark plays the puck. Because remember, he did not start opening night for Boston. It was Swayman that started opening night. So, but Ullmark's the guy they gave the money to.
So this was another thing that Kipper and Bourne were saying. Kipper was just like, yeah, if Campbell wins the first 2 games this week, how do you not give him Saturday?
Excellent point. And he has.
Yeah.
He's on a streak.
And he's had his days off.
Yeah. A hell of a game against Tampa. All right, I think that's all. That's the final thing on my list.
All right.
So we wrap up here?
Sure.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. And Amy will tell you that in a sec. Go buy some Skittles. Or whatever. Should we name the podcast? Should we name this episode Skittles? Let's just name it Skittles. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Flavor Town?
It's just called Skittles. All right, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter @DraftInHand.